voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117, and you're tuned in to Next Podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.
I'm not from Alabama, Connecticut, so no.
Yo, that was perfect time to start. What is going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Next Podcast. I guess Pred thinks that Alabama and Connecticut are somehow related. I do not know what is going on right now, but
they're very
good.
Close to each other, right? I mean, they're pretty
right next door. We're neighbors, basically.
The same amount of syllables.
I'm not even going to count. My brain wants to count the syllables right now.
Oh, he's right.
Oh, okay. I'm take your word for it. I'm not going to do it. Yo, what is going on, chat? Yes, people, we are live at our actual time, the time that you have come to know and love. It is prime time. Next Podcast here for you guys. You guys don't know it, but this was the second start because I messed up on the first one. So I had to be honest before somebody on this panel blew up my spot. Guys, we have a great show.
And we're late, yes.
Great show for you guys, man. A lot of stuff to talk about. There's a lot of drama out there. I get to talk about Psychonauts 2, which I'm really hyped about. Even before they showed the specs on the different versions and stuff like that. Just looks like a crazy game, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about. We have to get into the intro, so I'm gonna go with the man that lives down there in the Lone Star State. Yo, he is getting ready with his arsenal because they have acid spitting land lobsters over there. Predator, what is going on, bro?
I need to see a picture of this acid spitting land lobster. I need to see pictures of this. I've not seen one of these before. But what do they taste like?
What they taste like? I don't know.
But can you eat it?
If they're shooting acid, I'm not sure you want to try it.
I feel like everybody in Texas eats everything in their backyard.
Yeah, man, just clean that shit out, man. Put it on the grill. Put the heat on that motherfucker. You guys.
Pred ate that tarantula he sent a picture of back in the day.
Right. New name is Xbot Fufu 8.
No, dude, no.
Fufu 8.
Fufu 8.
Wow, we got a message retracted already.
Already, damn.
Damn.
That must have been crispy.
No thumbs down yet, though. So.
Here, let me fix that.
Nah.
No, well, not much, man, going on. I just chilling. Saw a little bit of Battlefield footage today. You know, I was happy. Kind of pissed off about that. I don't think that's a topic, but we'll make it one. But good to go, man. I mean, it feels like we just did a show like what? 5 days ago. So we go again.
Yeah, well, we get this Sunday off though. You know, we're not going to do another Sunday show for a while. So
good.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Boo.
Next on the list, we are going all the way to the West Coast, man. He had a couple weeks off. He came back on Sunday, and he came back with that fire, and that just not giving a shit and just giving you guys his opinions on everything we were talking about. Of course, it is the Angry Otter himself, Dark Optimus. What is up, bro?
What's up, man? It's good to be back on a Thursday, dude. You know, that Sunday shit. I don't know if I could do that ever again. Listening to Crispy on a Sunday, I was like, oh god, man, I just want to jump through this fucking mic.
It's like sacrilegious, like
right in the fucking left nut, dude.
Wow. Right in the left nut.
I didn't think you still had that one.
But no, man, I'm happy to be
I squeal
here,
like a piggy, like Dark. It's okay.
Here we go, guys.
Crispy suck that one out of
It's
you.
already starting. It's already starting.
It's still there.
That white on white crime, people.
Oh, it's gonna get even more white on white crime today, dude.
How many fucking pieces of wood does it take to make an Angry Otter fucking den? The world may never know.
How many? What?
He wrote that down.
I know. I was like, well.
And on that note, we got to go to the next man. Yes, he is basically my next door neighbor up here in New England. He lives in the same state as I do, and he created the phenomenon known as hashtag Crispy Truth. Crispy Bomb, what is up, bro?
What's up, Pred? Alabama is like your redheaded step cousin. There we go. Yeah, we're not in the same realm, bro. Just saying.
Not in the same realm.
Yeah. You know, Connecticut is basically if you combine Boston and New York in the same place, because it's in between them.
Yeah, we're sandwiched.
That's hey, we got Red Sox fans one day and we got Yankees fans the next day. So
that's a pretty shitty fucking sandwich, man.
Yeah, well, guess what? We don't have a freaking.
I'd rather eat a acid-spitting land lobster than deal with that shit.
Well, guess what? You don't know about that Maine lobster, do you, bro? I mean, you could say you do. You could say you do if it was imported to Texas, as you like to say. So,
I mean, we
enjoy
know about
that.
it here.
Well,
we have
really,
Maine lobster,
really,
like, basically
really.
next door. Like
it's like $5 a pound right now. A lot of people don't realize that, but yeah.
Nah, it's only over here, sir. It's only over here.
It's way more expensive.
The further you
over
get
here.
out, the more they gotta pay for it, man.
Yeah, it's way more expensive here.
So it's like $25 a pound. We're talking that.
Yeah, it's about that, dude. It's about
we have
that
the cum
here
zone
in
out here.
California.
Oh no, that zone is not allowed here, sir.
But yeah, great to be
What
here again.
What zone are you talking about?
All in the same week. I mean, I can't believe this. This is, I don't think ever happened. And I've been on here for 2 years now? So kind of wild. So let's get into it. And there are topics, people, and they're going to be great.
They're going to be great. They're going to be great. And Crispy, just to let you know, our brother UK Daz sent out a tweet. He was a special guest on Next Podcast 8 years ago.
Damn, dude.
Think about that.
Think about that, sir. He's
got more tenure than my ass. There you go.
Well, he made it on the show once, sir. He made it on the show once, and then for some rhyme or reason, I don't know, it just never lined up again or whatnot.
I think I was a special guest like 4 years ago, dude.
It's insane. We are literally one of the longest running podcasts in this gaming community, and I love it. Absolutely love it. And a huge shout out to you guys for coming and checking us out every week as well. If you haven't done it yet, hit that thumbs up button. Share this show out. Let people know where you are right now, because we are getting into it with the gaming topics. We are going to be talking about Activision. We are going to be talking about Psychonauts 2. We are going to be talking about Dead Space, people. That is right, Dead Space. It seems like whenever I put extended gameplay of a game out here, they're like, you know what? We're going to bring that game back, because I think it was just Sunday I was putting Dead Space on, so... Yeah,
Splinter Cell for me next time.
Yeah, I know, right? Dude, I will. I got a couple Splinter Cells. I'll put that out there. I'll get that going as well, man, because
I feel like that's what happens. The devs look at this show and they're like, "Oh, you know what? That gameplay right there. I want to see that again happen again."
I want to see it. I want a new one of those games in that panel's hands, so we could get that fire gameplay going. That's what they're saying, man.
Well, and the craziest part is EA's not the worst company anymore.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, guys, let's get into it, because EA Play happened today. All right. I want to hear your quick thoughts on that. I don't think it was a show that we have to really kind of break down. They showed a new mode in Battlefield. I think the big thing was the return of Dead Space, and it's not like a Dead Space 4 or anything like that. It's a remake, like it's a reimagining. It's a reboot. Let's call it a reboot, because they just put Dead Space on there, which I think is a smart idea. I think they went a little too far in the story, and I think they have to kind of go back to the beginning and kind of draw out the story more, get a little more in depth with what was going on. But let's start with Predator on this. Pred, I know you had a couple thoughts about Battlefield. I think the new mode's called Portal or something like that by Ripple Effect. They're the ones who developed that. Let me know what you thought about EA Play, real quick, and then let me know what you think about the reboot to Dead Space, man. Are you excited?
The whole EA Play, the whole event. There's a lot of stuff missing. You know me. I'm always about what ain't there, like no Dragon Age. You know. I mean, but what they showed, I was okay with. I mean, I was really just there for Battlefield and whatever the announcement was going to be, which ended up being Dead Space, and those were my two biggest takeaways from it. Like, then what racing game was it? Was it
Grid Legends.
Grid looked good. It looked really, really good. I thought it did. I mean, I'm a Forza guy, but I thought it looked decent. And I'm not a Grid fan, but I thought it looked decent. I mean, the way they're kind of making a story out of it, and how they were talking about how they did the capture and stuff like that, the video capture was kind of interesting. So I mean, I might check it out. Like I said, I'm my favorite racer is Forza, the Forza series, both of them. So it's gonna be hard to peel me away from that. Especially, did they give a release date for that, by the way?
What, Forza?
No, the Grid.
2022.
Okay, I ain't worry about it then. I'll holler at that game when it gets there. I'll be done with Forza by then anyway. So, like I said, I was there for Battlefield, and I thought they could have shown. I don't like how they're like segmenting. Like he kind of came out. And the guy was talking about it in the beginning. He was like, we have other stuff that's discussed. I'm like, well, dude, y'all have had 3 sessions now where you could have discussed Battlefield. You had E3. You had your little event you did, and you had this event, and you're still telling us you're going to tell us more. Just tell us to us already. We know the game's coming. We know what it looks like. I really want to see the multiplayer, like the modes they have, like I guess the so-called not really battle royale. Where the fuck you're going to do with it? Like I'm interested in that aspect of it. But I liked what they showed with the Portal stuff, which is just basically you get to set your own parameters in the game, and so you're going to get some dumb shit like. I know I always do like a pistols only map. That's one of my favorite ways to go. But
that'd be
the guy was like,
in Battlefield. Pistols only?
No, in a smaller map it would be fine. But like a huge map, like a 128-person map, I don't think so. But I like doing pistols only maps, and smaller maps with smaller groups, like maybe 24 people or something like that. But I mean, but you're gonna get weird shit like that. You're gonna get like they were showing like knives versus the EKG, whatever the fuck they're called, like you're gonna get stupid shit like that. It's gonna be kind of lopsided. So just prepare yourself to see some dumb servers when you're going in there. But I think it's a cool mode, but I think it's gonna get abused. Just the way people typically do shit. Like they're gonna make everything one-sided, and you're gonna get massacred if you're on the other side.
Dude,
so,
I will say, I feel like user created kind of like content, coming from like Halo or whatnot. It's kind of like a double-edged sword with me. Hold on. Oh damn! I had to sneeze. I must be allergic to bullshit because I'm talking and now I gotta sneeze. But it's kind of like a double-edged sword per se. Like some of it is really good, but then like. If you notice,
get some dumb shit, yeah.
Halo 5 Guardians now, they kind of rely on that in terms of like going into just social like team deathmatches and stuff. They got like certain user created maps, and it gets kind of I don't like that, man.
Yeah, and like when you get those servers, like that's one of the things I did like about the Battlefield community. You can when they actually let you build your own servers. You can build it the way you can have the rules that you want in there, and I guess that's where it's kind of spawned from. But I'll play in that mode, but that's not gonna be my main mode. I like the open world. Let me just go hold this control point down type shit. But
that 128 people.
Yeah, and this is how I play Battlefield. I don't try to get every zone. I try to get 1 or 2 and hold those 2. And that way we get the points for that zone and keep everybody out of there. I don't try and go from A to B to C to D if I don't have to. But if you play the fucking objective, whoever sets it out, you're good. But like if you're trying to bounce around the map to map, you're gonna get sniped, you're gonna get ran over, you're gonna get hit by a jet, on your forehead or something like that. So I get a zone and I just maintain it and keep everybody out of it. So that way we're always secured in that area. Now, as a sniper, I like to kind of flank around and get behind everybody. But I'm not going to give you all my tactics before the game goes out. So, But the Dead Space thing, I think that was really interesting because that's one of the games that people have been asking for, and it was kind of leaked earlier, but it wasn't official.
It was teased, but
Um,
everybody got the tease. Like,
Yeah, so we kind of knew it was coming, but I wish they would have shown a little bit more. But I don't think that game's anywhere near ready anytime soon. So, but at least we know they're working on it. So a lot of people asked for it. There you go, you got it. They didn't show, like I said, I always talk about what they didn't show. They might have came in the pre-show because I missed some of the beginning part, like the first 15 to 30 minutes of the show.
I skipped over the pre-show, like
I
completely.
skipped over it. Like you got Madden coming out. You got some other games coming out, like sports games coming out. They really didn't talk about them that much, but Madden fans are gonna buy Madden. It don't fucking matter. So they really don't gotta show this shit. Everybody who loves Madden's gonna get Madden. So I guess they didn't want to waste the space on it, but it was a decent show. It was only like an hour long. We had the extra 20 minutes to show the pre-show. They did a pretty good. Well, they did a pretty good job with this pacing and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna knock them for anything. It's a Dead Space, the game I was waiting to see. The unannounced game.
It's a reboot. It's not like another like sequel or anything like that. They're going back to the beginning and kind of reimagining the thing.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, we got Dead Space. I got a little bit of Battlefield stuff to keep me held over until whatever. I don't even know when the next event is. They're going to show the rest of it at Gamescom probably. Yeah. I'm waiting to see if they're going to do a custom pre-order, like they typically do, because that's what I'm waiting on. I haven't pre-ordered it yet, just for that specific purpose. You don't really need to. It's digital. You can buy whatever the fuck you want to. So there's no sense in pre-ordering something you don't know what it looks like yet. So I'm gonna wait and see until right before the beta comes out. I'll pre-order it then if they don't have anything for me. So it's whatever.
Yeah, and you know what? Your whole pre-order thing, that makes a lot of sense. Pre-orders started because people would get upset if they got to the store and there was only so many copies of the game, and by the time they got to them, they didn't have any more. Like now a lot of people buy digital. There's no like limited amount of digital copies of the games.
Yeah, right.
But people are pre-ordering day one when it comes to like digital content. It's a little weird, man, in my opinion, but I don't know. At least it's cool for kind of like, if it's a reoccurring, like if it's a franchise and you're showing your love for the franchise or whatnot. But yeah, that's a little strange. Like you're never gonna run out of digital.
The only incentive you get for pre-ordering now, if you're a digital guy, it's like getting like into the alpha or the beta. But a lot of times you can get into it anyway. They usually have an open beta. You just want to be in first. That's what everybody gets in there for, to get the pre-order for. So I mean, it's not. You can deal without it. It doesn't. It's not like all your shit carries over most of the time anyway. So, So what's the point?
I got you, brother. I got you. Yo, shout out to Aid Lopez in the chat, and I find this interesting because it goes into another topic we're going to talk about. He goes, "This is Battlefield's time to shine, with Activision getting bad press right now." Now, brother, in a perfect world, you would be right. In a perfect world, you would be right. But do you really think what's going on with Activision Blizzard right now is going to have any effect on Call of Duty? Like,
yeah, no.
Oh man, I would be right with you, Lopez, but I don't think that's going to have any effect. But let's go to Dark real quick. Dark, I know there was a game that they showed. Predator didn't talk about it. You got into it. I think you want to throw it out there a little bit. And I got to ask you about Dead Space again. It's not a sequel. They're going back to the beginning. It's a reboot. Like, are you excited for this, or did you like how the story was going from Dead Space 1, 2, and 3, man? What's good?
Well, overall, like, EA Play was okay. I mean, like, the Battlefield stuff didn't really get into. I mean, I might play it. I'm not sure. I'm just not like having any fixation to play. I don't have any fixation to play any multiplayer games right now except for Halo. But yeah, the one Lost in Random, dude, that game looked freaking awesome, dude. I can't wait for that. That looks so cool.
What game?
Lost in Random.
Dude, you can't like that game. It doesn't look like Disney Pixar.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah,
apparently.
apparently. I can't like it. I can't like Psychonauts 2 either. Apparently, as a PlayStation gamer, I can't like that either.
Oh.
I
mean, you are playing the back compat version on PS5. So anyway.
I mean, I'm not gonna play it until I get an Xbox. So
Ooh,
Shots fired.
I'm
Good
just
shit,
saying. I'm just saying. But yeah, I think honestly, like that game Lost in Random, man, that game had me hooked right from the beginning. As soon as I saw it, I was just like, oh shit, dude, I'm totally in for this. It looks like a Tim Burton movie. Like
Yes.
I am absolutely ecstatic for that. That I can't wait. But the only problem with that is that it comes out right around the time that Tales of Arise comes out, and Tales of Arise, that is day one for me. So I don't know, man. I might get both on the same day and just switch off and on between them, but I know Tales is going to take me forever to play, so I might just hop in there and play that, and then after I'm done with that, play Lost in Random. But yeah, man, I'm absolutely ecstatic for that. But like seeing the Dead Space thing, I was all like, yeah, I mean, we knew it was coming. I mean, at least we have one company. I mean, yeah, granted they've been bad in the past and they've done some shady shit, but at least we have one company who's fucking listening to the fans and saying, "Hey, we want this game back into our game libraries." Unlike, Ubisoft over there who refuses to give us a Splinter Cell because it doesn't quote unquote fill their narrative of open world fucking games as a service.
Now they want
bullshit.
I was gonna say now they want service games, man.
Yeah,
Service games.
yeah. It doesn't fill their quota of that, and it's like fuck off, dude. Like give us, like, I guarantee you, if they gave us another Splinter Cell game, people would gravitate towards it because I think a lot of people who were fans of that franchise would actually go in and play the game. There would be probably new fans too, that would be like, oh, I heard that this game's really good. Should I
Not
play
only
it?
that,
Yeah,
Sam
play it.
Fisher is a cool ass character. That would attract
Right,
new
exactly.
people right off the bat, man.
Exactly, dude. So, it's good to see that Isaac Clarke is back. He's gonna be, we didn't see much of it, but
Is it gonna be
just
Isaac,
seeing,
though?
right. But that's the thing. Like when you see the blue lights coming up on his back, I'm all like, dude, that has to be Isaac, dude. It has to be. But you never know. It might be somebody else. We'll see what happens with that because we only saw a little bit of it. But yeah, man, I'm absolutely excited for that and Lost in Random. Those two games were the ones that really I got into and saw and was like, wow, I really want to play those. Battlefield 2042 looked great anyways at what was it? What was it?
E3.
Was it E3? Yeah, E3. It looked great anyways there. So I mean, Battlefield has always looked fantastic. I mean, that Frostbite engine is just it's on another level with
with Battlefield
graphics wise.
with
Yeah,
Battlefield.
with Battlefield. Well, not even just Battlefield, but Battlefront. I mean, even though Battlefront wasn't a great game, that
Graphically
game
looked
is
crazy.
yeah, it looks crazy. So I mean, that engine is just on another level. But yeah, I mean, what else did they show? They showed that grid game. I'm not much of a racer guy. I don't.
It's like
really
racing
get into
and
that
soap
stuff.
operas put together. I appreciate that they're trying with a story. You know what I'm saying? I do appreciate that.
What
I want
I
more of
also
that.
like, is that the actors that they're getting to play these characters are, the way that it looks. It doesn't look like how Need for Speed looked. It looked really shitty and choppy, and like they try to put them in the game, and it didn't look like they fit in the game. This looks like it's gonna fit within the game, and you're gonna be able to interact with these characters and go through these this world championship of grid. So that was a cool aspect of it. But I mean, for me personally, I'm probably not gonna play the game. I might watch some videos of it, just to see it or whatever. But I'm not gonna go out of my
it's
way and buy it.
2022 anyway, and we already know
Right.
how you feel about racers. So like I already
Well,
knew with that, man.
I
So.
mean, if I'm gonna play any racer, it's gonna be Forza Horizon, dude. Come on,
There
you
you
know,
go.
like that open world of because I think like Forza Horizon 3 was my favorite. I mean, 4 was okay, but I'm digging the 5, man. 5 looks fucking amazing.
Photorealistic, brother.
Dude, completely. Like I'm ecstatic. I want to play that. I'm fishing for an Xbox Series X, dude. I'm fishing out there, dude. I'm on there every single day trying to find one of these motherfuckers. But
Hey, Pred, can you
it's
get him a Series X, man? Or is he gonna owe anything?
I give him Series X. You know what you got to do for it, though, don't you?
I know. I gotta give him some of that money. Some of that money.
Bro.
It's called Dying Seal. Yeah.
Face down, ass up.
Oh man.
Yo,
I don't know
real
about
quick.
that. I don't know if I could do that.
Shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up the super chat, guys. The super chat does indeed work. He says, I'm getting the $120 version of Battlefield, a must-have.
Nice.
Brother, I already know you are a Battlefield fanatic. And he says, waiting on the Doctor Who game, September 19th. Yes, I didn't even know they were
There's a
coming
Doctor
out.
Who game?
I didn't even know they're coming out with a Doctor Who game.
I'm gonna look that shit up because I like Doctor Who.
Oh, you just sparked Dark Optimus's interest in that, brother. And our panel is now complete because coming live from the 405, K Mega is here. What is up, bro?
What's up, man? What's happening, everybody? What's going on, man?
Oh, you sounded good. You sounded real good right now, too, bro.
Oh yeah. I was trying to do something, and then I backed out, and that's why the voice was messed up. But so yeah, I know when I first came here, everybody was like, yeah. So
Yeah, you were botting, and there's only one bot. There's only one bot, sir.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong zone.
But all right, man. It is good to have you in here. We are talking. We're talking Dead Space, but real quick, the EA Play, because it was a quick show. Like, no need to go really in depth. Although Dark was really pushing it there, man. He was trying to really get in detail and stuff like that. But
yeah, it was hard.
We're doing all that. So sit back, K-Meg. I'm gonna go to Crispy, and then we're gonna hit you up, and then we're gonna move on to the juicier topics and stuff like that. So.
Oh no problem.
So, Mr. Bomb, is it okay if I call you Mr. Bomb, sir?
You can call me Mister anytime you want, bro.
Mr. Bomb, what do you think about, again, the reboot, not a sequel, the reboot? I'm surprised more people aren't surprised that they're going reboot status, seeing as how many Dead Spaces came out and how deep into the story they got by the time they got to, like, the end of 3. Like, there's nobody's like, I can't believe they're doing a reboot here. But, what do you think about that? And anything else from what EA Play showed today, bro?
Well, I didn't watch EA Play. The only thing I noticed was Dead Space, and never played any of them. The one thing I will say is I feel like Vince Zampella is starting to get into like the weeds with these people. Be like, hey, like you have your Maddens, you have your FIFAs, you have all these multiplayer games, like are multiplayer centric. You make a ton of money off of it, but let's be knowledgeable to the gamers that care. And you see what Mass Effect Legendary Edition, you see how popular it has been. Yes, it wasn't forever, but I mean, a lot of people really went back in and played all 3 games. Mm-hmm. And that says something to a company and says, you know what, people bought this and never played it. They did a lot of things with it. They advertised it for us. Like, let's have some positive press for once. EA is not good at that. And we know Madden's going to be shit. Sorry, K-Mag. I know it's going to be shit. Okay, it's going to be the same damn game. I've already watched way too many people that just play that game constantly that are going to be like, this is going to be horrible. But at the end of the day, you got to look at them and say, hey, okay, we have single player games that are actually good. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they might not be.
Crispy, real quick, the Elusive Gamer is in the chat, and he said it's a remake, so it'll have like quality of life features plus gameplay related things from like 2 and 3. So they're basically going in, so they're not going to reimagine it. All right, I got you.
So anybody remember that, there's games out there like Tony Hawk, Pro Skater 1 and 2 that actually, implemented things you love about certain parts of the franchise, but,
that's
still
Activision.
kept
We
the
can't
story.
talk about that.
No. Well, Vicarious Visions might be a subsidy of them now, but they weren't that to begin with. So, you have to look at what they're good at. And the one thing I'll say is that a lot of people ignored the fact that it's in-engine, what they showed us for Dead Space, and it's on Frostbite. Anybody see that?
Yeah.
It's on Frostbite. Why would it be on? Because, Mass Effect was actually just, up-developed, as I like to call it, the Legendary Edition, from Unreal Engine 3, which a lot of people don't know that either. It's still Unreal Engine 3. They just they pushed it to its limits, which a lot of people don't understand that Unreal, you could push some stuff to its limits, even on a lower, developer cycle compared to what it is now.
A lower edition, an earlier edition, yeah.
Because they constantly update it. So the fact is that, I feel like, they're trying to, rather than just being like, hey, we're going to push this multiplayer, we're going to push these sports games, we're going to do whatever, they're kind of trying to do both. And I feel like it's, with this Dead Space announcement, kind of makes it seem like, hey, they're trying to cater to everyone, which, I mean, you can't hate for it because I'm an Xbox fan. I love Game Pass, and they're trying to cater to everyone. And I feel like EA, they're right in bed with Xbox. It's like, dude, like, am I going to be able to play Dead Space in 6-7 months, after it launches? I'm good with that. Like, I'm not going to buy it, but I'm like, man, like,
but you're still going to play it, bro.
But they're playing a different game. They got the royal flush, and they gonna sit there and fold. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they're in a different spot now. They're finally realizing that they have IPs that actually mean something to people, and they could be single player, they could be multiplayer. But at the end of the day, are you going to make a good game? And I think that's something they're finally realizing. At least. And what sucks is that you got FIFAs, you got Maddens, you got so many people that play those games constantly, and they continue to play them, which is a shame on them. But at the same time, they have complaints and nobody says nothing. And I think that's the next step they have to make is kind of, adapt to the community like Xbox is doing.
Nice, brother. And guys, I want to give a quick shout out to my bro RG Viper X. As you can see, the game A Way Out is the gameplay being played right now. That is me and RG Viper. Of course, I am Leon. I am the Italian muscle, and Viper's the other guy. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of fun. I am going to be completing that game with Viper. I mean, we broke out of prison together. We have to see it through. All the way through. I gotta say, I do have a lot of fun with that game. I'm a little surprised at some of the scenes in the beginning of the game. Kind of caught me off guard a little bit. Anybody who plays the game probably knows what I'm talking about. But other than that, it has been an absolute blast so far. But it's time for my brother K Mega, the man strong enough to be here from the beginning. First off, Mega, did you see that UK Daz posted a tweet, I think it was yesterday, about how he was a special guest on the next podcast? Can you believe this? It said 8 years ago.
Who? That really?
8 years ago, bro.
8 years ago.
8
Has it
years
been that
ago.
long?
Has it been that long?
I
That's
don't-
insane,
damn.
yo.
That's crazy.
Dude, what are we doing? Yeah,
I don't know, man.
don't
Yeah,
know.
man.
I don't know,
Damn.
man.
Okay. I don't
But
know.
yo, shout out to the community. Anybody who has been with us from the beginning, I am so happy to see that you are entertained.
It
every
couldn't have
week.
been 8 years ago because I mean
That
we
was
started.
also back when K Mega actually had hair too.
So,
See, what was it? 2014, 2015, 15, 5?
okay, so 8 years ago, 8 years ago would be the start of the Xbox One launch, and we weren't doing it back then.
Oh
at
no,
that point.
no. I think
So
we started
it's
15,
been 6
16
years.
around there.
Yeah,
Something like
it
that.
was 16. It was 16 when we started.
Okay, 16. So,
So it's been 6 years. It's been 6 years.
6 years
It's
still,
been 6
man.
years.
Still, that's crazy. I'm gonna have
No,
to.
it is crazy.
I'm gonna have to
It's-
fact
it's
check him
crazy.
on that one, man. Unless I got the years
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah. No, because I mean, I was just I didn't get into the whole YouTube thing until what 2015, 2016. I didn't really do my first video until, I mean, people can go in my channel and go check my very first video, and that was in, I think, in 2014. And then I took a year and a half hiatus,
Mm.
and then I came back, and then that's when we started Next Podcast. So,
Yeah. And shout out to the very first person to ever check out one of my videos, guys. You'll never believe who it was. Next Gen 720 was the first person to go to my channel, subscribe, and check out and share my first video. So, shout out to him. Of course, you know we were in Bang Bang, all that good stuff, man.
no doubt.
But dude, what do you think about the remake coming down the pipeline, Dead Space, man? I think it's been a long time coming. The trailer, to me, looked incredible. I could just imagine what the game's going to look like. And of course, you know, they showed Battlefield, the new kind of like the portal mode that has like all like the older maps and newer maps, and you can kind of create your own type of matches and stuff like that in it. But just kind of like your quick kind of like general thoughts on EA Play as well.
I mean, of course, I mean, I enjoy watching all different types of stuff. I was watching it while you guys was talking about it, so I got a chance to catch it because I didn't even know that it was going on today. I mean,
Well, yeah, you've had a busy week.
Yeah,
so.
busy week. Yeah, and last night was really the first night that I can actually just kind of relax after I dropped my mom off, dropped her kind of home. But
Shout out
but
to
yeah,
Mama
no,
Mega.
yeah, no doubt. And so then, you know, I've been on this head hunt to finish Greedfall, and I finished it like about 30 minutes before the show started. So I didn't know that anything was going on. So I just watched it. But the one game that Otter likes, I remember, you remember last year they showed that game.
I remember.
And it's crazy how when people judge games before they come out, and how unnecessary it is, because if you looked at how that game looked last year, it looked okay. It didn't look bad. But you look at it how that game looks now is incredible. And I mean, we're talking about in a year's time, because
Are you saying 1 year makes a difference?
1 year makes a huge difference. I mean, because Dark, you mean what was the game? The looks like
Awesome Random.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of some of those crazy Tim Burton games or whatever, but movies. But yeah, graphically, I was just looking at it when I was hearing Crispy talk, and I was like, holy shit, this thing looks way better. And so like that game went from, that's interesting, I'll check it out, you know, whatever, maybe one of these days if it's catching on the sale, to now I'm like, oh man, I'll play that. So yeah, no, kudos to them and to the people that, you know, into the devs that just know how to work their magic, especially on this new hardware. That game looks really, really impressive. Of course, you know, I love my racers, so I mean, anything that's going to be coming out, I'm going to check it out, see what's going on, and I got the other Grid, but I got it on PC. I was planning on getting it on Xbox, but I just felt like it didn't have enough content when I had the opportunity to play the demo, or it was something else maybe it was something that I was watching, and I was just like, man, it just don't seem like it had enough content for me to spend the money for. So So I got it on PC, and so I was right. It didn't feel complete, but it did look great. So I'm glad that they're revamping it, changing it up, adding a little bit more flavor to it. So I will see what they're going to be doing with that. And then, of course, I understand that people aren't going to be excited about the Maddens and things like that because a lot of our listeners, they're more into other type of games. But listen,
Welcome
I mean,
to
I've been
my
buying.
Destiny world, by the way, when it comes to that, man.
Well, I mean, Madden has been a much more established,
Welcome to that
running,
world. Welcome.
long running franchise, way longer than Destiny even came about. So, so I've been doing the Madden thing for a really long time. So we're talking about back into the mid '90s. So what I'm saying. So and Madden came out in the '80s. So, I get what people say. It's the same old rehash. This, that, and I've seen even people that even come to make these speculations, which it looks like that might be the case because of ray tracing, charging you more for ray tracing, something that doesn't seem like that's not a good look whatsoever. For the to try to justify the higher price. But I'm a fan. I'm a football fan. I'm a huge football fan. I'm a huge basketball fan. So, I mean, pretty much every year I'm going to cop them, and that's just me, and that's just for anybody else out there that has their particular game. That even though they may grit their teeth and they may, if it's Assassin's Creed, if it's whatever, they get it. So Madden will be no exception. I will go ahead and I'll get Madden again, play with my Rams. Get down, beat some head, and then move on, and then wait till the next interaction. But I do feel where people are having the issues with what they're doing with the price hikes. There's no doubt about that. But I'm still gonna get mad. But
all right, real quick.
Yeah.
Shout out to Makai. Dude, this is a way out. And I will say again, I shouted out RG Viper X. He is my partner in crime in that game. But the dude did not know how to synchronize with me rowing a boat through white water. We ended up backwards at one point in time. I'm like, dude, no, other side. Like, dude, it was absolutely hilarious. We should have streamed it because, people would have been cracking up, I swear. But we got through it, man. He is a loyal friend in the end when it comes to, like, the fighting. He's got my back. But I told him I will never go whitewater rafting with him ever. Ever.
Again.
Ever. Just ever.
That's pretty funny.
All right, my bad, but go ahead, bro.
No, you good. And then also, like, I mean, I just was thinking about not only for that, but just like Battlefield, just I can't wait. And I think somebody in the chat was saying that they think that this might be Battlefield's year over with COD. Now, I mean, I know Activision is going through a lot of problems. People are still going to buy COD regardless of whatever they're doing. But but I wonder with the whole Portal thing, which I think is genius. I mean, you get all the best of all of everything that you want. I wish that they had a hardline mode. Maybe they might add that later on, which will get me really excited. But I wonder if this is what COD is going to be doing, because if you hear what the stories are about COD, doing this going back in time type of thing, and maybe some kind of time, it could be that they're maybe doing the same type of thing, which COD gamers are going to play it regardless. But you have your different factions of people that like like Treyarch's vision or like Sledgehammer's vision, more things like that. But this Battlefield is no question. As long as it doesn't come out broken, it's gonna rake, and it's gonna do fantastic. It's got the Levolution, it's got everything that everybody's been waiting for and expecting. Plus, graphically is going to be outstanding. And one of the first games that I got a 1,000 on was 1943. I played that game so much. I loved 1943 so much. So seeing that those old maps is coming back, things like that, I'm going to be, it's going to be ridiculous. That's why I'm over here trying to knock out some of these single player games in my backlog. Because I know what I'm going to be doing, just playing nothing but multiplayer between Halo and that, and then Back for Blood. So single player will have no run, no burn for the rest of 2021. So but yeah, no, I look good. I've never played a Dead Space. I own both of them. I don't know. Maybe that's why I think I started my phase of not really being in scary games anymore. And so I own them. I might try to give it a run, but I'm glad that other people are excited about it, because there's plenty of games that I would love to see come back. So for
the
people
first
to see
Dead
that,
Space scared the shit out of me. Like that's back when you had it was almost like muscle memory. Like when something came at you, you go for the head. But this game, you don't do that.
You get the limbs. Yeah, no, I played it. Like I said, I got both of them. I played it and then I stopped and I never went back to it when it first came out. Because
Game Pass too, if I'm not mistaken.
What'd you say?
It's in Game Pass too, if I'm not mistaken.
It could be, but yeah, no, they won't sell, and I was like, that's right. There's a third one. I don't have the third one, and so I bought them, and so to see it being remade, you never know. I might try to get into it.
Honestly, I think if you played one and then you because one's I think is the scariest.
The best one.
The second one is more action.
Mm-hmm.
It's still scary, but there's a lot more action. There's a lot more things going on. I think you would actually like two more than you would one. To be honest.
Okay. Well, either way, it's not like I don't know. I don't know what happened to me, but maybe I got soft in my old age. But I just I just stopped playing, scary games, and so it just But yeah, no, I'm happy for the fans who've seen that they're going to bring that back. Again, like I said, I just got finished watching it, so it was I didn't see anything from Dragon Age 4, which has led me know that they're ways off from that. Unfortunately, after me beating Inquisition, and so I'm really stoked to play some Dragon Age. But yeah, no, I thought everything was cool. I know they show Apex. I don't play Apex. I'd rather have another Titanfall if they're going to do that. That's what I want Respawn to give me. Hopefully they will. But other than that, yeah, no. I thought the show was cool. They had some good games that I would definitely play.
Nice, brother. On that note, it is time to switch it up. There is an important topic. I do want to dive into Psychonauts 2, and then we will get into kind of like the more kind of like legal ramifications, what's going on at Activision, what you guys think about that. But I really want to get into Psychonauts. First off, as we're getting closer and closer to the launch of Psychonauts 2, and we see more gameplay and stuff, this game to me looks absolutely phenomenal. I'm a weird guy, just to let you people out there know. If you don't know me, like I like.
Oh yes, he is.
I like weird things, man, and just this game.
Before we even went live, I said you're a weird guy, and you're like, oh, I'm not good.
This game's got some weirdness to it that like each level has its own kind of like unique style and stuff like that, and it just really it's really got my attention. I went back and I tried to play the first one. And unfortunately, I'm not one of those retro gamers, Mega. I'm not one of those retro gamers. If the game's look goes past a certain point, I'm like, you know what? It seems like fun, but
stop frauding yourself.
I totally get that. I'm like that with a few games. There's some games I could definitely go back and still play, regardless if they're.
Yeah, it's just like I would love for Rare to kind of like redo Grabbed by the Ghoulies. I think that would look really awesome, kind of like brought up to today's like technical standards and stuff. But Psychonauts 2 to me is looking absolutely insane. But I also see people on social media because there's a certain game that came out on another platform called Ratchet and Clank, and since these are both cartoony games, that's the only thing here, because Ratchet and Clank is an exclusive. And Psychonauts is a multi-plat, kinda multi-plat. But let's see. Let's go to Predator on this one. So we got people comparing Psychonauts 2 to Ratchet and Clank. I want to know what you think about that. If you think like Psychonauts for its kind of like cartoony art style, if it holds up, I think it looks absolutely amazing. And then I gotta ask you, because we've seen the versions. I'm gonna pull up in our messages the difference in the versions of this, because people pointed this out. It's really interesting. All right, Psychonauts 2 runs 1080p 30 on Xbox One, 4K 30 on the One X, Series S. It's 1620. with a 120 hertz mode at 60 frames per second. Series X, of course, you're looking at native 4K, 60 frames per second, 120 hertz. At 120 hertz, it goes to 1440. Here's the interesting thing: base PS4 1080/30, PS4 Pro 1440/30, and PS5 1440/60, with a star that says the PS4 version running via backwards compatibility. So I gotta ask you, Pred, did Double Fine skip a PS5 version and just do a back compat thing going on here? What do you think about that, bro?
I think that something that's going on with getting games to run. Well, first of all, this is Sony's fault. This has nothing to do with Double Fine. Because if you look and you see some of the other games that have come out that they've kind of put from PS4 to PS5, they've had to either wait to do it, or they had to, like, you know, it's not an easy task, put it that way. And I think it's because they don't have the same ability to do what Xbox is doing, where everything just works. You know, like I think that's what the main problem is, because I think there's other games that they've had this issue with before too, and it's not just Psychonauts. So I guess Microsoft was like, we're not gonna use the assets to make this game run on PS5, like for a company we own now. Like, we're not gonna do that for you. You know, like, why? You know, like, I mean, I get it that they put the game on there in the first place, but I think, like, you know, and I can't think of the games off the top of my head, but I know there's been other games they've had issues with it, and I think that's why Sony is doing the way they're doing now. They're charging people for that upgrade from PS4 to PS5 because they had to put work into it. It isn't like on Xbox, you just pop it in and it works. You know, like, it's completely different on the PlayStation side to get things running from the backwards compatibility version, PS4 to PS5. They're selling it to you as a not a remaster, what the fuck did they call it the other day with the director's cut or some stupid shit like that? Yeah, director's cut. Or they're charging you $10 extra for it. You know, like, that's why they're doing that, because I think they have an issue getting games, you know, to run. They don't have that ability to just hit that switch and it works, like Xbox does. That's my guess. I don't think Double Fine snubbed them all. They're just like, we're not going to do this. Maybe they'll do it later. But I just think they're just like, fuck them, you know.
Like, that's a snub right there. Like, fuck them,
you know. Fuck them. Like, you know, we're not going to put this extra work into it, and because think of it this way: if Sony is doing that and they're charging people $10 for it, what if Microsoft did that for this game and they didn't charge PS5 customers $10 for it? That would make Sony look like shit.
Ooh.
Right?
I didn't even think about that.
Like, if they made a PS5 version for them and didn't charge it for the upgrade, how was that going to make them look? How's that going to make Sony look as a consumer? I mean, as a business. And, like, people don't ask these questions, but, like, that would be the first thing I would say if I was a Sony guy. Like, why the fuck if Microsoft can do it for us, why the fuck can't you? You know, like, so I just honestly think they just want to put the extra work into it. I mean, and if they would have, I mean, like, could you imagine if Microsoft would have charged them for it? Would they be wrong for it? Because I mean, that's what's happening over there, right? They're getting charged for upgrades. So,
so this would be a good way to just kind of like back out of that situation as a whole and just be like, yeah, here's this version and here's the 60 frames.
If you don't like it, yeah, just deal with it. You know. So, honestly, I don't think it's a Double Fine issue. I think it's more of a hardware issue with the PlayStation. Personally.
Interesting.
That's just me. I could be wrong, but that just makes sense to me. When you see some of the other games they've come out with recently, and they do an upgrade or something like that, they charge people for that. They charge like $10 for it. That's why you're getting a PS4 version of a game, and you get a separate PS5 version of the game that's $10 more. That's why. There's something up with the way they're doing backwards compatibility. They have to put work into it to get it to run on PS5. So.
Okay. All right, that is very interesting. What do you think about the look of the game and the comparison between Ratchet and Clank? Do you think that like I feel like they're two different art styles totally? There
are two different art styles, but I think people are trying to say, oh, both of these games are cartoony. This one looks more realistic cartoony than this one does. You know, they're comparing apples to oranges. Psychonauts has had that's the art style that game has always had. They're not going to change that because Ratchet and Clank came out. And I don't know how long Psychonauts 2 is, but I guarantee you it's probably longer than 5 hours.
Oh, hold on. Okay, on that note, I know who I'm going to next on this one. Yeah. Dark Optimus, what is up, bro?
Fucking 5 hours bullshit.
Yeah, I knew it.
Dude, I saw we had this conversation on Sunday, and we were talking about this game, and I put it in chat, and I showed a screen someone's YouTube video where they beat the game in 5 hours, 4 hours and 55 minutes.
Did they skip the cutscenes?
Also, we're adding cutscenes in there. It was game.
Yeah, you have to. You have to.
I don't know. I
You
just saw
have
the
to
YouTube
add
video.
cutscenes in there.
I mean, you kind of play for cutscenes to get more of the story in between
Yeah,
your gameplay.
like-
Gonna be another 4 hours of cutscenes. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
That's
Yeah,
a good
I mean,
point. Is there 4
it
hours of
is.
cutscenes in the game, Dark?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I played the shit out of that game. I mean,
Look up YouTube. Go to YouTube and look up Ratchet and Clank and see like someone's playthrough of it. And like the first one I saw was like 4 hours and 55 minutes or some shit like that. It was less than 6 hours. And I didn't watch it. So, like, but even if you didn't include cutscenes, like obviously he beat the game in 5 hours. So like you can't deny that. It's right there in front of your face.
yeah, but what difficulty was he playing on too?
I don't
That's the
care.
thing.
I don't care what difficulty you played it on. It doesn't matter. If you could beat the game, you know me. If I got the game, I could probably beat it in like 7 hours.
Yeah.
I promise you, you're going to get less than 10 hours out of the game. If someone's beating it in 5, I could probably do it in like 7 or 8. And I think, again, I still stand by my word. Psychonauts is going to be longer than Ratchet and Clank.
Well, it's a bona fide DLC. We all know that.
well, okay, so
I hate all of you.
So Dark. I mean, Predator does make some sense there when it comes to the cutscenes. There can't be like 4 hours of cutscenes. This isn't Death Stranding.
Dude, I honestly,
This isn't
I
Death
think
Stranding,
there probably is. I honestly, I think there probably is at least 4 cutscenes. I'm not kidding with you.
Wow, so it is
Some of
Death
the
Stranding,
cutscenes
just
are
the
pretty long.
cartoon version.
Some of the cutscenes are pretty long, actually.
All right. Well, what do you think about this comparison going on, and then what do you think about there's not necessarily a PlayStation 5 version of this. It's running PS4 back compat at 60 frames per second, though. We gotta throw that in there at 60 hertz. But there's not necessarily a PS5 version. Did you expect this? Is this a snub from Microsoft and Double Fine towards PlayStation? What's going on here, bro?
Well, I mean, before the game even went to Xbox, it was crowdfunded. And it was crowdfunded for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. So...
That's the obligation then, right?
Yeah, that's the obligation. So, if you were expecting it to be on PS5 with all the bells and whistles, then you probably, you weren't, you probably are living in La La Land somewhere. You got to remember that Xbox has FPS boost, also has auto HDR. So I mean, it has a lot of the things, a lot of the tools that PlayStation doesn't have in their system. So there's going to be that. Not saying that you guys are getting a backwards compatible version of Psychonauts 2 on Xbox Series X, but that could be possible. That could be the possibility that's why you're seeing higher frame rates, higher and HDR and things like that. I don't know if Double Fine snubbed the PlayStation version. I mean, they probably. I mean, you gotta remember that when this game was announced, it was announced when they were on they were doing their Kickstarter, and then all of a sudden
independent studio.
They were an independent studio, and then all of a sudden, Microsoft bought them. Like, not even like a year later, something like that. So it was like, okay, well, of course they're gonna be the Xbox version is gonna be better looking. It's gonna run better because of the fact that they own the fucking company. They own it. Of course, this is just business. This is how it works. Like, Like, yeah, it may suck and you may fucking hate it. And you may be like, oh, fuck Double Fine, fuck Microsoft. You may be all kinds like that. But guess what? At the end of the day, that's the way it works in business. They're gonna make the best version that they can, especially Xbox. They probably went to them and was like, hey, make the best version that you can for our system. Period. Not
Period.
saying that they were like, oh, snub Sony. No, they probably didn't even think about Sony at that point. They were probably thinking to themselves, make the best version that you can for our systems. Period. And that's that's the problem that I'm seeing with a lot of people that are quote unquote too into this console war bullshit with PlayStation and Xbox and things like that. It's getting ridiculous, dude. I'm so fucking sick of it. So fucking sick of hearing about it. Just go play your fucking games and stop crying and bullshitting about it. Because honestly, I don't remember back in the 90s. I don't remember anybody complaining about a game not being on their system. I just remember people being like, "Well, that game sucks. I'm gonna go." But you knew in the back of your mind, like
I want to
they
play
were
that.
probably they were jealous. Yeah, they were jealous and they wanted to play that. They're like thinking to themselves, "Oh, we'll play that." But they weren't all crybaby bullshit fucking being all fucking on Twitter and being like, oh, the game isn't getting the best fidelity that it can on my system that I want to play it on. And it's like, I mean, at least you can still play it. I mean, at least it's still there. I mean, it's still got 60 frames per second. I mean, the HDR isn't there. I mean, does HDR really boost it to that point to where you're like, I'm not gonna play this game because it doesn't have HDR on my system of choice? I don't think it's really gonna make a difference to you if you are already, wanting to play the game. To be honest, if you were dead set on playing this game, you're still gonna buy it and you're still gonna play it, no matter what system you're playing it on. And that's the thing. The comparison between Ratchet and Clank and this game is so stupid, man. Oh my god, it's so stupid. I am so like, I'm like, really? This is what we're complaining about now? Well, this is what we're gonna compare things to? Like Ratchet and Clank isn't it's a fantastic looking game. It's a good game. It is. It really is. It's just like, why are we comparing these two when Psychonauts is a completely different game? Completely different. Not even in the same realm.
Dude, even
as
art style wise, if you look at like,
Yeah.
before they start getting into like, the different parts of the brain and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You were talking about Tim Burton before. This to me
Yeah,
has like
this
that.
is Tim Burton.
Yeah, it has that kind of like that stop go animation look, that Tim Burton-esque kind of like art style.
That's
to
why
it.
I'm excited for this one too. Like I want to play Psychonauts too. And that's the thing. Like, I mean, yeah, if I can't get a Series X by the time this game comes out, I'll play the inferior version because I want to play it. But I'll probably double dip when I do get my Xbox. So that, guess what? Double Fine's getting my money. They're going to be getting a lot of money from me. Period. So it's like,
Tim Schafer thanks you, by the way. Yeah,
but I'm okay with it. But that's the thing. I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
I'm okay with doing that. Some people are like, so I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna be like, I can't believe he said that. Why would you double dip on a game? And it's like, because it's my money. I do what I want with it.
It's my money. That's why.
You do what you want with your money. Period.
It's my money and I need it now.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Dude, bringing
exactly.
it back. Was that early 2000s right there?
Early 2000s, yeah, dude. But yeah, I want to play this game, and I'm gonna play it, and I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what people are saying, and that it looks worse than fucking Ratchet and Clank. I don't think so. I think it looks fantastic. I love the art style of this game. It looks awesome to me. I want to play it.
Nice.
Period.
Me too.
That's what it should be about. It should be about, okay, what games do I want to play? Okay, I want to play this one. I want to play that one. But no, you see these people on there fucking complaining about it. I mean, you know for a fact that they probably are going to play this game, just so then they can fucking bitch and moan about it on fucking Twitter. So they're gonna buy this game.
Well, I don't
So
know. They don't have a service like Game Pass, so they can't they would have to invest in the purchase of the game to play
Yeah,
it.
that's what they're gonna do. That's what they're gonna do. You know that's what they're gonna do, dude. That's what they're going to do.
Damn, the
They're
best
gonna
version of
buy
this
this
game, and if you have a Game Pass subscription, you don't even have to buy it. You could just
No, you don't
start
have to.
playing. Wow.
That's the beauty of it. Is that you don't, on Xbox you don't have to buy it. Yes. Am I gonna buy it? Yes, because I want to support the developer. I want to support Tim Schafer and what he's doing because I want to see more games like this. I want to see more games that think outside the box
Yes.
and not games that are just fucking first person shooters running around in an arena that look like fucking Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm talking about with the Ubisoft game that they announced. You know, it's like I don't want any more of that shit. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, you know, you guys love multiplayers. I get that. Like, you know, but sometimes, man, I want this stuff to be outside the box, and a lot of times it just gets. I've been, you know, honestly, dude, I know how much I gave shit indies so much shit in the past, but I've actually gravitated more towards indies now because they're thinking outside the box and they're doing things that are beyond what these fucking AAA games are doing. I'm loving it. I'm loving what they're doing over there on the indie scene. And
Our
like,
buddy
I mean,
Indie Gamer, his ears are ringing right now. He's like,
and dude,
think
before this
somebody's talking indies.
podcast, we were talking about a couple indie games that we wanted to play, like Raji on Game Pass.
Raji looks really good, by the way.
Dude, Raji looks fantastic. I want to play the Last Stop. I want to play that. That looks fucking awesome. So I mean, these guys are thinking, you know, more in terms of just, you know, not only game story wise, but they're thinking about gameplay wise. What can we innovate on? And Double Fine, this game looks like they are going above and beyond what, you know, I've seen in the first Psychonauts and any other game that I've seen out there to date. So I'm excited. You can move on.
Nice, bro.
So-
I appreciate that. Like I said, the more and more when they first announced it and they showed gameplay early on, I was pumped for it as well. Like I totally agree with you. Like thinking outside of the box, that's something that the first Psychonauts really got acclaim for. You know what I'm saying? To have a game where you go into somebody's head and you get into their thoughts and stuff like that. It was really, really cool concept, and now we're seeing it up on, you know, today's standards with today's hardware. Oh, well, most of us are anyway. But on that note, let's
that was a jab at the PS5, wasn't it?
most of us are. But K Mega, I gotta ask you, man. First, I gotta ask if you're hyped for Psychonauts 2. I mean, it's a multi-plat, and if you got those console warriors out there, you know, I guess you can't be as excited for a multi-plat. But even with a multi-plat, since it is coming from Double Fine, which is first-party Microsoft now, people are comparing it to Ratchet and Clank, dude. What do you think about that whole thing and like the difference in versions that's going on, where PS5 looks like it's playing backwards compatible version of the PS4 game?
Well, I mean, listen, I mean, we've played games that's come over that's supposed to have been better on the PlayStation. And I haven't had no problems with it. The game still looked good, still played, still enjoyed it. So, listen, I have to disagree with Dark. I don't think a lot of people is going to jump on that game just because of that reasoning. Because for some reason, that type of garbage spills over to a lot of players, to a lot of gamers. And the
I
first
can
thing
see
that
what you're saying on that one.
yeah, and so
Yeah.
when they tell a friend, tell another friend, stuff like that, and so since it's an Xbox game, so the best thing for them to do is to try to find every reason for the game to fail, and maybe and to have that reasoning being explained to gamers that this is why Xbox shouldn't acquire anything because people don't buy the game or support the game, stuff like that. So I don't see a lot of people jumping on that game like that. That's in the circles that we see online. I hope the game does well. I have not played the first game. I will play this one. It looks interesting. It looks crazy as hell. But every time that you see something, there's always comparisons to something else. And it really doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't. It's stupid. I mean, overall, it's just these stupid narratives. I've gotten to the point being in the game so long that it's just kind of like, man, this is laughable. I mean, I was seeing when BG brought up the stuff talking about how the game looked like ass and it looks horrible and things like that, and I'm like, well, I mean, since you played the game, I mean, I guess you would know, right? And of course, I meant that to be sarcastic because he hasn't played the game. So how do you know how bad this game looks? I mean, it's like the same thing that they said about Sea of Thieves. And then they went into this whole thing about
out there too. By
one of the prettiest games you've ever want to see, and on top of that, they tried to dog it. The media tried to dog it. Everything tried to dog that game out. And the only thing the Sea of Thieves done is just become a phenomenon, and it's even crushed the spirits of Ubisoft and Skull and Bones. Like, I mean, that's why you don't see too many games that's like
So
Sea of
true.
Thieves. So I'm like, I mean, and they make Sony even copy it and make a VR version of a so-called looking Sea of Thieves game. So, like, listen, if people pay attention to this, to the levels of where they're angry and they don't want to support Psychonauts too, because they feel because a few Xbox stands want to go out and tell them, well, this game is best and nanny boo boo, this game belongs to Xbox now. Then, and if they feel stupid enough to fall into that narrative to where they feel they feel neglected or something when they can actually play the game on PlayStation, then so be it. They're not even worth the time of day. Period. I mean, I'm not going to stop playing a game if a game is so-called looks better on PlayStation or anywhere else. Because if I play it on Xbox, then that's where I'll play it. If I want to play it on PlayStation, I'll play it on PlayStation 4. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I mean,
Right.
that's the one thing about it that blows my mind overall is when you have a game like this, it should be you should be praised for its originality. I mean, it should be looked at as like, oh man, Xbox, this is a good move for Xbox because this is something out of Xbox's wheelhouse. This is something that they need. They need more platformers. They need this, but instead they want to compare it to a game that's got like 18 entries. And this game, I think, is already like a remake of another remake. So like, come on, man, stop it, stop capping. Like just enjoy what you enjoy.
I think the game looks incredible though, bro.
No, I think the game looks cool for what it is. Like, I mean, if you just look,
Psychonauts 2 was a remake of a remake?
no.
You're talking about Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank is a remake of a remake. So it's like,
Yeah, kind of, isn't it?
yeah. So I mean, it is. You know what I'm saying, and that's fine. And it looks fantastic. I mean, I definitely will play it when the time that I give me a PlayStation 5. But this is the thing to me overall. I think what Pred was hitting it right. I think Pred was absolutely correct on everything that he was saying about it. Obviously, there's a problem there. There's a problem with that hardware to why other studios are having the same type of problems with games that aren't like a big budget type of game. If they're or the publisher can't financially back the game properly. If you've noticed, the Smart Biomutant had the same type of problem. The studio that makes that sniper game, they had this type of problem. Now, Tim Schafer's studio is having these type of problems. Double Fine is having this type of problems.
I played Biomutant on PS5. It's actually not that bad. to be
Well,
honest.
yeah, and I mean, no, and the game is fun.
Not that bad. It's acceptable in
It's
Tarzan.
oh shit, disrespectful. But I'm just saying,
White
like,
on white crime. Here we
obviously,
go.
what we're hearing
I didn't
right
even hear what
now.
he said though.
Oh, yeah. What we're saying,
Spectacular.
what we're finding out is that the hardware is having some kind of problem, or devs is running into some kind of roadblock to where they can't do certain things if they don't have, whatever type of resources that they need. And I don't know. I mean, there's something to be alarmed about, but like Fred said, nobody's going to talk about it. Nobody on that campus is going to talk about that. They rather bitch and complain and deflect the problems to everybody else except for something that's coming from their end. So I don't know. That's yet to be determined. But I mean, look, if you're interested in the game, pick it up, enjoy it, have a good time. Show it off.
Nice, brother. And I gotta shout out a couple super chats here. We have the legend in the building, Mr. 108 Dragons TV himself. He said, how about we just say it like this? Microsoft bought us, took the financial strain off our back so PS fans can still play this game, but it plays best on the S and the X. Brother, I definitely appreciate you for that.
And why Xbox gamers can't say that? Why Xbox can't say that about their games in the games in their studio? I mean, their studios, the games within their studios, I should say. Why they can't do that? Like, I mean, PlayStation's been saying this forever. Why is it that Xbox can't start saying it? It seems like
it's quote unquote a multi-plat.
Well, I know, but even with multiplats, I mean,
I think they're trying to say they did this on purpose to make it inferior on the PlayStation 5.
That has to be something within within the hardware to have that type of, or somewhere within the hardware themselves or whatever. Something is holding it back. Maybe it could be the lack of memory or so. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't ever try to get into the weeds or try to be some kind of tech guy. All I can tell you is that when things like this, it doesn't pass the smelling test. This is not the only company that's doing this, and the other games that are having the same problems are multiplats as well. So there's something wrong with that hardware, or especially with small publishers who can't get over the hump for some reason.
What I've noticed is that a lot of these games that it's happening to are games that are backwards compatible with the PS5.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something wrong with the backwards compatibility with the PS5. Which honestly, like, I've played Biomutant, I've played several of these other games that were backwards compatible with the PS5. I mean, do they run fantastic? No, but I mean, they run good enough to where I can play it. So I'm not complaining about it at all.
All right, now check this out. Sir X-Man also hit up the super chat again, brother. Thank you for the support. Definitely appreciate it. He said, I'm going to play Psychonauts 2 on my PC because now Sir X-Man is PCMR all day. Yeah, that's right. I said it. You are PCMR all day, brother. I know you are. Shout out to Dragonheart. Yobi, what is up, brother? He says, love you, peace, love, life. I love you too, brother. Good to see you in the chat. Shout out to Slayin' Chilean. I like that name, man. It took me a second to really read that. Yeah, I'm like, hold on.
I was like, Chilean? I was like, Chilean?
Slayin' Chilean. I dig it, man. He says, Xbox is about to make a huge comeback. Can't wait for Flight Simulator and Halo Infinite, baby. Dude, I am so pumped for Halo. Flight Simulator as well. I am down. I saw what it looked like when it was in online mode as opposed to offline mode, and I want to let anybody know who did check that out. That is because of the cloud right there. The difference in New York City, because with the cloud, they literally put kind of like the satellite photos in 3D of the major cities and stuff like that, so you get to detail the buildings and stuff, where in offline mode, they do more. You get the monuments, but then it's surrounded by more kind of like generic buildings, stuff like that. But when you're playing it in online mode, you get the actual satellite pictures in 3D of that city, and that looks absolutely insane. But Halo Infinite, I cannot wait, people. Everybody in the chat, man, we got to get in on that multiplayer Halo Infinite when it does drop. I have a feeling, K Mega, there's going to be some community game nights going on where we're going crazy in Halo Infinite, man, showing off our coatings of armor and stuff like that. It's going to be great, man. I cannot wait for that. But let's get to I don't think I got to Crispy when it comes to this whole Psychonauts 2 thing. What do you think about the different versions, brother? And what do you think about the looks? People comparing it to Ratchet and Clank. I have to roll. I'm sorry to do this, Dark, but from what I've heard from my reliable sources over on the PlayStation side of things, is that game is short, and like it is short, and it makes sense because if you look at Insomniac and what they've been doing, they came out with Miles Morales, but they built that on a PS4 game. They built that on Spider-Man PS4. They added the ray tracing. Of course, it's a different character, but in all actuality, the foundation of that game is a PS4 game. And then you look at the development cycle. This Ratchet and Clank wasn't in development for a long time to really go in and kind of get a nice lengthy story. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards it's on the short side, and we don't know when it comes to Psychonauts like how big that game actually is, man. So I know what you're saying, Dark, but I gotta roll with the whole kind of length of the game as being a factor in there as well, man. But Crispy, what do you think?
I don't know. I didn't think it was short because I played it all the way through and I got the platinum on it, so that's why I probably didn't think it was short.
Oh, so you went in and did every little thing to get
Right,
every
I did
trophy.
every little thing.
All right, yeah.
Right.
You did the whole completionist method when it came to
Right.
that. And
He went, I don't have a Series X. That's what he went.
Now when it came to that, do you know how long it took you to get all the trophies and everything?
I think it was only like 10 or 11 hours or something like that.
That short game, guys. That is confirmed in my opinion, a short ass game. Crispy, what do you think about this, man?
What do I think? Are you actually talking to me right now? I don't know half the time with you. All of a sudden, I get cut off by Dark over here. 10 to 11 hours, man. I might as well just throw that shit to the bushes.
It's about to go down.
I mean, come on.
White on white.
I mean, seriously. Let's be honest for a second, okay? I've seen some quote unquote neutrals that have big YouTube channels say, "Oh, I don't want, how dare they do this to Psychonauts 2? Well, guess what? You got to understand something. It is technically a third party. And if you look at most of the third party games that are truly neutral that have come out on both consoles, guess what? You have better specs on the Series X and even in some points the Series S, which is kind of crazy. Okay? Compared to the PlayStation 5. Even though everybody forgets that there's a discless and a disc version. Let's be honest for a second. There's $100 difference. There should be some kind of thing going on that says, hey, there's a reason besides a disc to purchase this $100 more console. There's no reason for the bullshit that's going on. And then on top of that, these same people are going and saying, oh, well, I played Psychonauts 1. Well, guess what, you dummy? Psychonauts 1 came out in 2005. For the love of God. Okay? That is before HD consoles. Will you stop trying to compare your experience in 2005 to now? So you haven't played the game, yet you're trashing it. I don't like that shit. Okay? And I'm not saying that it's not your bag. It's not. No. They're basically comparing a 2005 game to 2021. Hello. Get your head out of your ass. Start thinking like a human being and understand that people are going to enjoy this game as they already seem to be. They may not be able to say much, but I'll tell you right now, Nostalgia is a hell of a drug, and that's the way it goes. Okay? And this is nostalgia. They're giving you multiple different gameplays in said game all at once. You could be side scroller, you could be for the love of God, I saw pinball, basically. That's the way it looked like. Okay? They are doing things because they're Double Fine and they don't give a shit.
That's true.
They are doing things that nobody else was willing or even capable of doing right now because some bigwig is like, no, you can't do that. Instead, Microsoft's like, let's throw some money in here. Let's throw some money. And you know what? You got Deathloop. Your state of play, the best game looking was Deathloop. So what you complaining about? That's a Microsoft owned IP right now. But you know what? They honored
that. We're not getting day one either. So,
and you know, this is the problem I have. Call a spade, and it is what it is. You know, PlayStation has done this many times with third-party developers. You know, they've gotten DLC, they've gotten anything else. If they have the contract with them, they got it. Well, you know what? Xbox may not be saying anything, but they just threw the middle finger in the air and looked at you and said, you know what? Deal with it. You got half the people saying, oh, this game means nothing. You got the other half saying, how dare you not give us the best fidelity? And at the same time, who knows if it's actually capable on the PlayStation 5? Because I haven't seen any updates to some of these third-party games. How many third-party games still have the same fidelity, same frames per second on the PlayStation 5 as they're being upgraded for the series consoles? I'm sorry. Microsoft actually thought about this. They said, hey, you know what? We have to make this as easy as possible. Even if it doesn't require the developer themselves, we're going to up-res it ourselves. We're going to do things that people didn't think were possible on the console. And I think that's what's happening right now, and everybody's ignoring it. They're just like, oh, they hate you. No. I'll tell you right now, Double Fine is going to push it to its limits on PlayStation because that's the type of people they are. You can see it in Tim Schafer. I feel like Tim Schafer to this day is like, I got bought out by a conglomerate. He's probably sitting there like, but at the same time, they're actually letting me do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they only require one thing. Hey, you know, we're not spending a bunch of money to, you know, give PlayStation the best experience. We're not doing that. But at the same time, if you can do that with a small bit of money, or Tim could say, you know, we got to do this. And that's why I haven't seen Double Fine say anything about this. Because they know either one thing, it's not capable of doing what they want to do. And number two, if they wanted to do it, how much money or how much time they're going to spend on that compared to the next game they come out with. And I think a lot of people ignore that, especially because Double Fine is still not as large as like the Coalition, 343, you know, Playground.
I don't think they want to be that large either, man. To be
and you know, and I agree with you completely. I don't ever think they want to be, but I feel like even though Microsoft owns them, I feel like Tim is like, I feel like I still own this myself, and I think that's a thing that we're not seeing lately. And you know, hopefully, you know, the industry can kind of go that way. But at the same time, to complain about these things when you got Deathloop for a year, okay? Was it Ghostwire Tokyo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong? They got that for a year, okay? What you want them to do is just not logical at this point. And everybody says, oh, I want Microsoft to be competitive. Well, guess what?
Well, there you
They're
go.
being competitive.
There you go. That's a competitive nature right there. And that I think that's part of the reason as well. You know, if there's issues with the hardware, then there's issues with the hardware. But I really think that part of it is like, all right, well, you know, the game's coming out. It's gonna work. It's gonna run. It's gonna look good. All right. But yeah, the best version is going to be on Xbox. It's going to be on the Series X. It's going to be on the Series S. And yes, we're going to put that love and care into it. We are first party over here as well. You guys are getting Deathloop. You guys are getting,
let's just point out this real quick. Cyberpunk just became available on the PS Store again. And why has it never been? Why has it never been taken off the Xbox? Why has it never been taken off Xbox? And you can go and say, well, guess what? They had marketing rights. Well, I understand that, but it feels like how much time? How much time?
It was broken on the PS4, dude.
It was broken, okay, but it wasn't broken for everybody. It wasn't broken for everybody on Xbox. Maybe there's an issue with how they're porting it. And you know what? I haven't heard a lot of people on PC say the same thing. I'm just saying, Xbox is going for, we can multi-fold our games from PC to Xbox, and they want to probably do it with everybody else, but nobody else is allowing them to do it until they're forced to. So
all they gotta do is put Game Pass on their platform. That's all they gotta do, and they'll get.
That's probably what it is, bot, which is crazy. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you still have your exclusives. You still have your Marios on Switch. You still have your God of Wars, your Horizons on, your Ghost of Tsushimas on freaking PlayStation. Like, at some point, it's either you fold or you don't, and you just eat it and just shut up about it. You know what I mean? So that's where it is, because you see where Game Pass is going. You see the great games you're getting, especially in like the next 2 months. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, I don't even know what to do with myself. Dude, I've stopped playing Gears so much now. I'm kind of like rusty at it, and I suck at it. Here's your time, Dark. Here's your time to come play.
Dude, I ain't going back to that fucking trash ass game, dude. Get the fuck
out of here. No! Somebody call the police. Shout out to Slayin, brother, the newest member of this channel. Shout out to you, brother. I hope you enjoy. You have member emojis that you can put into the chat as well. I hope you enjoy those, man. Thank you so much for the support. Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat one more time. And this one's for you, Crispy. I think he was digging what you were saying, because he says, love you, Crispy. Definitely getting a copy of Battlefield 2042. So, bro, you earned your copy of Battlefield, man. I hope you're proud. I know I am. So, all right, guys. With that, we have.
I'll play with you. That's all I can say.
We have to get into kind of like the serious topic. It seems that Activision Blizzard is in a little bit of trouble. All right, a little bit of legal trouble over there in California. You hear that, Dark? Over there, where you are, in California. I'm going to pull up the article real quick. There's some interesting things I want to read here before I get to the panel, because I hear a lot of people talking about the accusations, but there's a couple things in this article. So this is from a 2-year investigation from the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, all right? The state filed a lawsuit against Activision Blizzard for fostering a frat boy culture in which female employees are allegedly subjected to unequal pay and sexual harassment. So, as reported by Bloomberg, Activision Blizzard is being accused by the state of California of discriminating against female employees at nearly all levels of employment, including in regards to compensation, promotion, assignments, and termination. The state alleges Activision Blizzard's leadership has failed to address any of these outstanding issues or prevent them from occurring within the workplace. Now, you got to remember, keynote here, 2-year investigation, all right? The suit was filed on Tuesday in the Los Angeles Superior Court. Says Activision Blizzard, which is made up of about 20% women, assigns women and women of color to lower paid and lower opportunity levels with lower starting pay for similar work as their male counterparts. Now, Activision did come out and say a couple things. So, again, we heard a lot about that first part. which all of a sudden, you go in there, Activision does not have a good track record whatsoever when it comes to gamers, and now it's like their employees. It makes it really easy to believe that all that is going on, but we got to tell both sides of the story here. So an Activision Blizzard spokesperson sent the following statement in response to the allegations. He said, blah, 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 we value diversity and strive to foster a workplace that offers inclusivity for everyone. So they just went on to say that they call it the DFEH. That's the department that pressed these charges. They say that they included distorted and in many cases false descriptions of Blizzard's past. They have been extremely cooperative with this office throughout their investigation, including providing them with extensive data and ample documentation, but they refused to inform us what issues they perceived. So they didn't say what they were seeing and what they could possibly change within this whole situation. They were required by law to adequately investigate and to have good faith discussions with us to better understand and to resolve any claims or concerns before going to litigation, but they failed to do so. Instead, they rushed to file an inaccurate complaint, as we will demonstrate in court. We are sickened by the reprehensible conduct of this department to drag into the complaint the tragic suicide of an employee whose passing has no bearing whatsoever on this case and with no regard for her grieving family. While we find this behavior to be disgraceful and unprofessional, it is unfortunately an example of how they have conducted themselves throughout the course of their investigation. It is the type of irresponsible behavior from unaccountable state bureaucrats that are driving many of the state's best businesses out of California. Activision is striking back on this. Oh my goodness. So,
thank you, Bot, for doing that, by the way, because I didn't really look into it that much. I just said, hey.
You just go off like, holy shit, it's Activision being scummy as usual, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But they're saying there was a 2-year investigation. They said they did ample things. They started programs. They have people anti-harassment training that's going on. People have been fired for this as well. And they're saying that they were cleaning up their act, and they do regret that happened in the past, but they said that they are a lot better now. And that's not what this department is insinuating by bringing them to court or litigation after this 2-year kind of like investigation where they were supposed to...
The word is now. Let me go first.
Yeah, K-Mega, go ahead, man. Because like I said, you hear one side of the coin, but you know.
Let me just. I'm gonna just break this down. Okay. So my I had to retire, but my former employer, because of my injuries, I didn't get fired or nothing. I got hurt, and so I had to retire. But there was a big issue because in the type of business that I am, you got a lot of good old boys, right? And so basically, people get into conversations and other people, little factions and things like that. And so there was people that was basically, you got human services that will say, hey, look, if there's anybody if you feel any type of discrimination, if you feel like there's any type of racial tension or anything like that, come to us. Or if you got some issues regarding whatever. For the most part, a lot of people don't open their mouth to say anything because, for one, is that you don't, you work with these people. You don't want to get looked at as a snitch. And then 3 it's the thing of where, is it gonna resolve or fix the issue if there is really issues there? And so one scenario is basically where, I was involved into it, but I didn't do anything about it because I was in the point of just saying, look, I already know how some of these people are. But there was a conversation where somebody was, they didn't know that there was a couple of us black dudes that was in the background. And one of the higher ups came out and said some kind of racial kind of basically saying something about cotton picking and the
Oh.
N-word and whatever, right? Like, because they were saying, I forgot how the term was. It was like it was hotter than some N-words, cotton picking cotton, whatever. It was crazy, right? And so then the person saw that the person was looking behind them, didn't know that other person was, that we were behind them, and we heard everything that they said, right? And so then when they turned around, they started apologizing. I'm so sorry, blah. Oh my God. Oh, listen, because they knew that was their ass if anybody reported it. I didn't report it, but I did get into that supervisor's ass, letting them know, like, look, that shit is ridiculous. Are you out your? But I knew that person had a family and things like that. Well, somebody didn't care. They went and reported it. And so then there was the investigation. People started asking questions and stuff like that. I'm like, look, I don't know anything. And I got heat from people, but I knew that this person had a family. They, and I understand that the person is a racist piece of shit, but I've always been raised of, look, you handle the situation by talking to a person, like a man. But also the problem is with that is that because of me not opening my mouth, then it becomes a issue where this type of behavior is necessary. I mean, well, not necessary, but it's what's the proper word I'm trying to think of? Like it's okay. It's going to keep continuing because not everybody's going to open their mouth because of the whole snitch thing, right? This is the same thing that I look at it like this. All these women, Activision said, well, we fired these people. And if you listen to what the wording was, what you just said was that they said, well, they were supposed to get back with us and let us know about this conduct, but they didn't. They had 2 years. And on top of that, I guarantee you that some of those women came back and those employees went back and told them and complained to somebody else about the issues, but it still happened. And we all know that this same good old boy system that's in the gaming community is still one of the last bastions of where it's a boys club, it's a frat fraternity. You know what I'm saying? It's mostly white dudes, and it's not, it's not even, even white women get harassed.
Yeah,
so it's more so the thing of it is stop it. So it's one of the things that to me is Activision's on some bullshit. They're giving this, and then they're trying to threaten. Well, we'll take some money out of. We'll leave because I know that we got we got deep pockets, and we know that you guys want our money. So that's how you're going to try to fix that. Now you're going to start trying to fire people to try to save your own ass, even though you admitted that there was somebody that killed themselves because of the harassment. Instead of getting rid of the elements back then, you kept them. Same thing that happened with the studio that. What was that does League of Legends studio? Was it Riot Studios?
Right, yeah.
And then of course all the other stuff that's happening in Ubisoft. And to me, it's like this.
I get it.
Yeah, shit is crazy. And video games should not be alienated because it's video games. And I don't give a fuck about what's your favorite games or who's or who's your favorite if whatever. I don't care about that shit. If right is right and wrong is wrong. If I see people that was already starting to be on the bandwagon of trying to defend any of this action when somebody lost their life through harassment, that tells you that type of shit constantly happens. You don't feel emboldened to do anything to where you force people to do that to themselves unless that type of culture has been happening for a very long time. So therefore, Activision is definitely at the fault of this because they should have nipped this shit in the bud a long time ago. And that's my opinion of it overall. Like, listen, if you know what I'm saying, it's a 2-year investigation. They can threaten all this stuff, and then their only excuse is really coming back and saying, well, nobody didn't come to us and tell us what we needed to do to change it so we can whitewash this whole situation. Bullshit. They should have fixed it immediately because I guarantee you that there's people that has complained to Activision about these problems beforehand.
Oh, dude, it was crazy. They said that like the dudes were like basically heavily drinking at work, coming in drunk, having the women do the work for them while they were basically partying it up.
Yeah, I read it.
And you know what's crazy about this, bro? You know what's crazy about this? I know 2 people two people that we really kind of like. One of them I gamed with at one point in time did go over to Activision and Blizzard, and that's Mikey Barra and Rod Ferguson.
Right, I know, and you know what I'm saying. And listen, not everybody that's a higher up is is in this for sure. But the point of the matter is, and I see what John Gale saying in here. He says not all the guys was just white. But the majority of it, I'll guarantee you, was 90% of that staff was white. And regardless of it, it doesn't matter. It's mostly all male. It's the females that's having the issue with it. Listen, I don't care about if this was Activision and this was something that was all black men. I would have said the same thing. I would have said all these black dudes was doing all this shit, and that's just how I talk, man. If you don't like that terminology, fuck it. But that's just what I say. I ain't back down what I say. Listen, it's a good old boy system, and the shit needs to change. This is the reason why I say what I say about #SaveLock. This is what I say about that. We need more women protagonists, more people of color protagonists. We need more people of color in the gaming, because I don't want somebody to keep making some white dude to keep want to make somebody's black hair and that shit look like trash. We need more, because there's so many people that's in the gaming industry. I mean, not in the gaming industry, but that games that isn't just one dynamic. It's not Chinese or just white people. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with playing with any race or anybody or any sex or whatever. The problem is that other people have to have that same kind of concept, and those things need to change within the gaming industry itself. Things has gotten better, but there's still long ways to go. And this stuff with the sexism, with women going through this shit, it's awful. It is awful, because we should all include women to be in gaming, just like we want to include everybody else into it, because it's the biggest entertainment in the world. So the problem with me is that Activision, they knew about this bullshit, just like the same problem with Quantum Dream. While they had that issue where they were harassing there was that gay harassment going on, and then the French government got in their ass and told them, we're taking out your funds, and then that's what I believe they got bought out by Tencent or something like that later on, I believe. But that's the thing I'm saying. It doesn't matter who you are. I don't. If there's people that's harassing white people, that shit is not right. Nobody should be harassed at their workplace when they're just trying to earn a check. You know what I'm saying? And then they're doing something that they say that they love. That's just period. That's my whole point on it.
Nice. And I do want to say, like, I wanted to put out there the entire article, because I know, people have been going on about the accusations, and I wanted to put the response. It does not mean that I in any way endorse like Activision, Blizzard in this whole situation. I'm on the outside looking in on this, and I wanted to give you guys kind of like the complete story, and
Right.
K Mega went in and said
everything. I gave my opinion. I gave my opinion on it. That doesn't mean that everybody else is going to agree with it.
Yeah.
And people that's listening to the show, but me knowing from my experience, from being in a culture that is different. It's not, there was no sexual harassment, but there's a different type of harassment within the workplace where with the work that I've done. I understand it. And there's a lot of people that should come out and say stuff, but there's a lot of people who don't. And it's unfortunate, and that's sad that somebody has to lose their life behind it.
Well, believe it or not, I at one point in time I worked in a deli at Stop and Shop. And for people who don't know, Stop and Shop is a supermarket chain, at least up here in New England. And I know it sounds weird, but I had a white supervisor, and I dealt with a sort of racism or culturalism type thing, because I didn't know it, but I guess she had affiliations with a white supremacist group, and her opinion is was that I did not talk or act white enough, and I went to my union and let them know what was going on. The thing about that was she never really got reprimanded, and I just got moved to a different department. So, right. These companies, they don't handle this stuff right all the time. And to Albert G, first off, Albert G, what's going on, man? You're kind of late here, but it is good to see you, bro. He said the management only knows what its employees will say. Now, brother, we're going to agree to disagree on that one, because I even with the job I work at now, I know that I I guess if I think about it, I would call them spies. But management always has people on the floor that kind of like will inherently report back to them on like what's going on the floor. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Like what's being said, what's being done, stuff like that. So it's not just what, people will say in terms of complaints or anything like that, but these, management has an idea of what's going on, the atmosphere, the attitude, and kind of like how people are treating people on the floor. And so I will disagree on that. Like they know what's going on. They might not know the full extent, but even if you hear anything about any type of harassment being, in a supervisory role, being in the heads of departments, being in the higher ups, as soon as you hear that, you need to go and do something. Find out what's going on. Get involved, and see what might be going down in the workplace. I mean, that's your responsibility. You're not just there to tell people what to do and to get that big-ass check. You know what I'm saying? For being in that type of role. You have to do your job and maintain kind of like the order and kind of like, the atmosphere of the job as well. Yo, shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat. He says, I love K-Mega stories. Praying for your mom, bro. Did you want to give a quick update or anything like that for people who've been like following you? Is everything cool with your family now, bro? Or
yeah, I mean, I took her back home from the hospital last night. I seen that the Viper, he asked, and he was, and I was just telling him, yeah, things are better. She had her operation, and so now she's back home and she's recovering and stuff. But she's not out the woods completely. She'll hopefully by the 10th we'll know. But she's a lot better. She's griping, so that means she's feeling a lot better. So, but no, I really thank you guys for all the support and stuff, and man, really means a lot to me. Yeah, thank you so much.
Nice.
But she's doing a lot better.
Yes. Now we know where K Mega got all that griping from. It's Mama Mega over there.
Oh yeah, Mama Mega for sure.
All right, so let's get to Pred. We haven't heard Pred in a while, man. And Pred, what do you think about this Activision situation? Again, you heard kind of like both sides. You heard the allegations. You heard Activision fire back with their spokesperson. What's your thought on this whole thing, bro?
Guilty.
Throw him away.
I mean, I was reading through the actual document, and so there's some stuff in there that I think all of it, again, it's written to, when you see these kind of court documents like that, it's a complaint from one party about another party. They're obviously going to hype it up a little bit more than what is actually going on. But I reading this though, I think they could actually prove some of this stuff. And some of it, they probably will get swept, like, it probably gets swept under the rug, like the whole, like, oh, this person got promoted over me type stuff. Uh-huh. That will, like, you can't really, that's a hiring thing. Like, okay, how did this person get hired for this position? I know my job, I've sat on hiring panels before, and it's regulated, it isn't just by name. It's by, you see a resume, you do the interview, and it's based off a scoring system. Even before we even see that stuff, it's all vetted by somebody else first, and they give us the names of the people who made the cut. So I don't know how their hiring practices go. So you can't sit here, like, some of that stuff, like, this person got hired above me. Maybe your resume just sucked. Maybe you just, like, he got hired because he's got more experience than you. So that you can't prove. But some of this other stuff, like, the beer crawl, like Ken Meg was saying, it's like and when I first saw the word crawl, I mentally thought of people like on their hands and knees. That's not what they mean. By the way, if no one knows what a beer crawl is, it's basically you're going from one pub to another pub. Basically, yeah, the cube pub is like, I guess the guys would just, or the girls, I didn't read the actual way it happened, but the guys would go from one cube harassing girls or talking to them, and then go to another cube, whatever, or vice versa. The girls would get kind of shown around from cube to cube. So they weren't like on their hands and knees, just so anybody out there reading kind of understands what I'm talking about there. So, because that's in my mind, like literally in my mind when I heard this, when I saw the word crawl.
Well, we have a beer crawl in West Haven, which is pretty much right next to where I am in Connecticut, and it's basically a strip of bars, and you basically go from bar to bar.
Go from one to one, yeah.
Yeah.
You hit one up for an hour, you hit another one up for about
You
30
have
minutes.
to try to make the entire trip, and by the time you're at the end, you're
shit face at the end.
Done, dude.
So there is a lot of valid stuff in here that's wrong, right? And the part of the thing is, like, when I see these complaints, the first thing I asked was, who was notified about all this going on? And they were definitely notified about all this going on. And my next thing is, what did you do about it, right? Like, did you fire someone? Did you reprimand somebody? Like, I know in the military, we have these things, like, we'd always have these meetings, these little come to Jesus meetings. We have these briefings and stuff like that, and like what not to do. And, you know, like, if they never addressed it, and it isn't about just separating the people and firing somebody or putting another person in another department. Like, that's not what it's all about. It's about educating your employees about what's right and what's wrong and changing the culture. And from what I'm reading, this stuff started in 2019, and it was still continuing up until the point where they went to mediation in 2021, and it still didn't resolve the issue. So this isn't like, it wasn't like they didn't have an opportunity to fix it. You know, they just chose not to. You know, some of this stuff doesn't get up to the higher levels, and I think it was you saying at Xbox, like, you know, like, you have these people who go around, they can see things, they report back. Some of that stuff isn't always reported. It's just like swept under the rug, you know. They're either trying to protect somebody's job, or they're trying to hook them up, or they're trying to, like, you try and take care of things at the lowest level possible. But at some point, if it's a recurring thing, that's where you got to get people together and train them and teach them to not do this certain shit that they're doing. And like I said, you got to change the culture. And that's where Activision fucked up, is they allowed this to continue and they never changed the culture. And for this group of people, I don't know if it's one person or 15, one's enough, right? And that should have been taken care of when that person came and complained, and they chose not to. Whether it's firing somebody, and some of these people, like as I read into this, they left the company because of it. You know, they couldn't work there anymore because they weren't getting promoted, or they weren't happy about their workplace environment, and they were letting the males get away with whatever they wanted to do. Because, you know, again, once you get into that good old boy system and you become part of that group, you, as a male, I'll say it this way, as a male and you're part of that group, you're asked to, if you're just in the group, male or female, you're asked to do the same thing as everybody else in that group, to stay a part of that group. And once you don't do it, you get outcast. And so these people that are complaining were the people who were not in that group, or they were the ones that are getting harassed, or they're the ones that are having issues with those little cliques of people. And from what I read, it seemed like everything was, you know, addressed, where it was brought up to the attention. I won't say addressed. It was brought to the attention of the leadership, and the leadership didn't do anything about it. And that's why they're going to lose this case. Now, what does that mean for Activision as a whole? Absolutely nothing, because no one's going to boycott their games. Activision's been a shitty company for how many years? We've complained. It's been like on the top list of games of the divisions of companies that we can't stand for years, right? Activision has shitty practices, so does EA, but they continuously sell games. Like, so if you really want to make a big difference in this, you have to, you know, fight with your wallet, right? And we say this all the time, but no one ever does it, because when the next Call of Duty comes out, it's being sold out every fucking month, you know, or whatever the next game is, it's going to be a blockbuster hit. It sells out. And so we're not doing anything as consumers to prevent this kind of stuff from happening. We're not speaking with our wallet. We're actually encouraging them to continue to do this shit, because as long as they're making Call of Duty, we're fucking happy. And we're playing their games. We're buying their fucking money. I'm not buying this year's Call of Duty. I honestly mean that, because I'll be playing Halo and everything else. But am I never going to buy a Call of Duty again? I can't guarantee that. I mean, I can't promise you guys that. But the complaint is out there, and there's not enough people vocal enough about it to make Activision make the change until we saw this document. You would think that something like this was happening from 2019. Obviously, they knew about it. They knew about the investigation. What did they do between then and now to change that culture at Activision? Because there's been a lot of turnover at that company too. So that's the thing you have to ask. Yes, this happened. Here's what we did to fix it. I mean, I'll use Mark Cuban as an example. When he had his incident, I think it was a year ago. I know you guys probably don't understand sports and basketball like that, but it was fucking, even the Washington football team is going through it right now too. when it was addressed,
Oh yeah,
they
I
changed
remember
the
you
culture.
talking about.
They had to change the culture. They said, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And they had a plan for it. Like, I don't know what Activision's plan was because we're just not hearing about this. I want to know what changes they made to prevent this kind of stuff from happening again. Obviously, like I said, obviously they knew they were under investigation for this shit. So, okay, you know this. What did you do to fix it?
They
Don't
said
just
they made anti-harassment training a requirement.
Oh
They
man,
fired people.
that's
which
what
is
they're
what
supposed to do. They should have been doing
that's what
that
they're
at the beginning.
supposed. That shit, yeah, from the get.
That's this paper
That's what
talk
Chris talk
right
about.
there.
Those little meetings that you got to stay in
Come to
that you do
Jesus week.
before
That
work
nobody
or
really
yeah,
pays attention to or
Yeah.
anything like
that
that.
nobody.
You're just
Yeah,
I
like,
want
oh,
to know
I'm
what
getting paid and I'm not at a machine right now. Or,
who
that's
got
what.
fired, who got kicked out, what department changes did you make to change the culture?
Mhm.
They didn't. That's what I'm saying. I don't think
Yeah.
they did that. And like
Right.
what I was about to say with Mark Cuban and the Mavericks, and even with the Washington football team, they not only fired people, they brought people in to correct this stuff. It wasn't just like, oh, we're just gonna have a couple of meetings and we'll hold hands and we'll sing by a campfire, and it was, we need to fix this because this is our company and we care about our employees. So we're going to fix everything that's wrong with this because we don't want to be known as that company that discriminates against women, black men, whatever. Like no one wants to work for a company like that. So again, my question is, what did they do to change it? What did they do to change their culture? Not just to make changes, to make one or two groups of people happy. You have to change your entire culture, which means you have to wipe the slate clean and start all over. And I don't think they did that.
Yeah, no, I don't think they did that either, bro. It's crazy. Yo, shout out to RG Viper. Bringing out some of like his experience and stuff like that in the military and stuff. When it comes down to it, harassment is a lot more prevalent than a lot of people want to believe. People believe that over time, we as a people learn from our mistakes and kind of move on. But there are definitely issues out there to this day, and I think they're a little more numerous than what a lot of people do realize. And you can see it on a daily basis. I work in a manufacturing basically factory, and there's stuff that I'll see there as well that it's like, yo, what's going on here? I don't know. It's crazy. But Dark, what do you got to say about this, bro? Dark? Dark, are you there?
Sorry, I'm here. I was on mute. Sorry.
Were you sleeping? Yeah.
No. No.
All right. Well, you are the
Yes,
the last
definitely.
man up, man. You got to hit the grand slam here. What do you think about this whole Activision situation and basically in legal trouble, bro?
Last man up.
I think Crispy's the last man, but okay. Yeah. Honestly, man, this shit is disgusting. Honestly, I don't understand the mentality or what goes through a guy's head that thinks this is okay to do this. Because I've never been like that. Maybe it's because I've never been like that. That's why I don't get it. Because I've always, been like, I think everybody should be treated equally. I should always, and I think it's because of the way I was raised too. I was always raised to respect women and respect everybody around me. And sometimes, I mean, we're all mistakes, but this is a huge thing. Like, this shouldn't even be happening in the workplace. This is like, we're here to fucking work. We're not here to fucking frat boy dick around and shit like that. We're not here to do that. We're here to work. We're here to make fucking video games. That's what they should be doing, is making fucking video games and not trying to pick up on the girls that are working there. Like, it's fucking ridiculous, dude. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about this shit because it fucking frustrates me. It's like, what are you doing with your life if you think to yourself, this is okay to do this. Like it makes no fucking sense, man. It really doesn't. Like I don't I it's like me, like I work in the film industry, okay, but I go home after I'm done with I go home and I don't, like I don't, like I socialize with the people that I work with, the crew and stuff like that. But we're there to fucking work. We're not there to fucking be like, oh, did you see that girl, man? Did you see her today? Like that's not what we do. That's not what we're about. That's not how, you know, what we do. And it's not right, dude. It's just not fucking right. I don't get that whole mentality with dudes and their fucking weird ass fucking bullshit, dude. It's weird to me, man. It's weird to me, and people will be like, "Oh, you're a fucking pussy if you fucking think," like they call me shit like that. I've heard people call me shit like that. People have called me stuff like that all the time. You're a little fucking bitch, dog. Like I've heard that shit all my life because I don't. I have been in situations where this stuff has happened, and I've called people out on it, and they're like, "Oh, you little bitch, dog," and it's like, dude, no, this isn't fucking right. You should fucking respect the person. If they don't want to be harassed. You don't want to be harassed. What if somebody came up to you and fucking harassed your ass when you were at work, and you were and a girl was all like, "Hey, look at that guy. Look at what he's wearing today," fucking, harassing the shit out of him. Like, what would you do at that point? You wouldn't feel comfortable with it. So it's like I don't understand why
a lot of guys wouldn't mind that, but
no, that's not true. No,
that's not true.
That's not true.
At least in my job, there is.
Well, it's just the same reason of why you see there's a lot of guys that won't walk up to the most beautiful woman in the room to go holler at her. It's the same. It's the same thing. They get intimidated for the same reason. For the same reason that these women do.
Okay.
It's just that it's crazy that you would think that, because like a whole room full of guys that they would be talking and they were like, oh man, yeah, if like some woman come in and she's and all that, no.
Why are you bringing locker room talk into the workplace? Like I could see, like, if you're with your boys and you're talking about like, oh yeah, I was with a girl last night or whatever, I've heard it before. Like I don't get into that. I don't brag about that shit. Like I have a girlfriend, but I don't talk about her because I don't get into that.
Yeah, no,
I don't want people to say
man. I want to know about
it's because I don't want anybody to know about it. That's why.
Well, now
I don't
we
want
all
anybody
know
to know
about
who she is. Well, yeah, now you know, but I didn't want anybody to know about it.
Don't worry, I will.
I just don't want
I will
anybody.
annoy you in DMs.
This is peer pressure right here. That's what it is.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna divulge anything to you, motherfuckers. So it doesn't matter. You could
But we're
fucking
family,
you could
bro.
pressure
We're
me all you want, but you're not gonna get anything out of me. So
I'll call her. I'll tell her that you won't talk about her.
Right.
He's already subbed to his OnlyFans. Yes.
Oh no.
That's why I'm subbed to Fred's OnlyFans. Yes. But dude, it disgusts me, man. I cannot believe that this shit is still going on. I mean, they should have known, especially in this day and age. They should have known that this shit was gonna come back to bite them in the fucking ass. They should have known this. Like, I don't care where, like, especially nowadays, like everybody needs to be treated the way that, with respect. That everybody should be treated with respect. If you can't treat somebody with respect, then shut your fucking mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should shut your fucking mouth. Like, why are you even talking? If you can't, it's like people in this community sometimes. I'm all like, they see a good looking girl and they're like like fucking dogs, and I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Like,
act like you've been there before, bro.
Right, exactly. Act like you've been there before. Like, I don't get it. I do not get this shit, man. Honestly, I'll never get it because I wasn't wasn't raised like that. I didn't have friends who were like that. I mean, they might have been. I mean, I don't know. I'm not with them 24/7, but I'm from what I've seen, I've never had friends who were like that. And if I did meet people who are like that, I steer clear from them. I was like, nah, dude, I don't even want to be around you. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be around you. I don't like talking about that stuff. Like I don't like being like all like locker room talk and being like, oh yeah, man, I was banging this chick last night, all that shit. I don't like any of that shit.
Yeah, I never got
s-
into that as well, man. Like,
Yeah, I've never been about that.
I never
that,
tripped
that
out
type
about
of
stuff like that because that's just man talk. But but I get it.
I,
I mean, it's
I
not
don't
for
trip
everybody.
out about it, but I don't. I steer clear from it. I just walk away. I walk away. I don't want to. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to hear about it. I just walk away because it's just not. It's not who I am. I'm just not that type of person. So
I hear you, Doug. I hear you on that.
and this whole like that frat boy shit. It's like if you, God, man, like you're acting like fucking children in a workplace. And I've worked at some places where they've acted like children, and I've had to, because I've produced things, so I've had to tell them like, hey, you guys need to
Wow,
fucking
chicka
cut it
wow
out.
wow. Oh, sorry.
I've had no, no, I produce music videos and that, and I've had to tell people to fucking cool it. Like you need to be professional here. If you can't be professional, then get the fuck out. There's the fucking door. Get out. And, and I've said that to people, and I've had to say that to people.
And they respect you
And
because of the mullet.
and well, yeah. I mean, everybody respects the mullet, man. Come
Yes,
on now.
sir.
The business in front, party in the back, baby.
Shiny too.
It's all shiny. It's like shiny from grease, like greasy shiny.
Oh, that just gave me a horrible, horrible picture.
Just give you nightmares, right?
Oh my goodness.
Lord.
But no, man. It's the Activision. Like, I agree with Pred though. It's like,
I was just thinking about what Pred said.
yeah, it's like
It's not going to do anything.
yeah, it's not gonna do anything. That's the problem. Like,
Dude, how
you're
many
still gonna go out and
gamers
buy
out there be like, yo,
game.
I cannot believe this. I am appalled. I can't believe
Yeah.
this. And all of a sudden, they're throwing down money for the next freaking Activision. They're the next Call of Duty. It's like, yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna get Call of Duty this year either. But to say, like Pred, like to say that I'm never gonna get another Call of Duty, like that's more than likely not gonna happen. Like 9 times out of 10, I'm probably gonna get that Call of Duty if somebody wants to play it. Like if I know a cousin or whatever, or a friend who wants to play Call of Duty, I'm probably gonna go out and buy it because,
You're never
interaction.
gonna
with
play another Call of Duty or a Sekiro 2
right. If there was
Crash or Tony Hawk's Pro Skater,
right.
Like,
Right, and that's where it's like, where do we draw the line to where we have to, where we can say no, we're not going to buy anything else from Activision until they clean their shit, until they clean their shit up, and that's part of the problem too, is that, are they really clean? Have they really cleaned their shit up, or are they just saying that they did? Just so then they can stay face and say that they're doing good now.
Do the bare minimum to make it look like
Yeah.
they're doing the most. Yep.
Right,
That is
right,
a company
right.
thing as well.
Right, exactly. And it's like, it's just crazy, man. I hate hearing about this type of stuff. It makes me sad. Honestly, it really does make me sad when I hear about this kind of thing, because someone lost their life because of what happened to them on a company trip.
Yeah.
And that is the most gut-wrenching thing. Like, I can't even imagine what that family is going through. I can't even imagine what her friends are going through. It's just it's crazy, man. I'm appalled by what. I'm not surprised, but I'm appalled by what Activision and how they're handling this and what they're doing. It's just it's crazy, man. I'm just
Yeah.
gosh.
No, I got you, bro. And yeah, like to put it that way, man. I think everybody felt the emotion in what you just said there, because that was real, man.
Yeah, it's
Definitely.
just it does sadden me. It really does, because like I've had people who've passed away and committed suicide for things that you know just it makes me angry too, though. It's just it's all of it together. It's sad and angry and just God, dude. I don't even want to talk about it. He's gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna start fucking tearing up and shit.
All right.
so.
Well, no, it's all good, bro. You take a step back. We got to give Crispy the spotlight, and we got to hear his thoughts and opinions on this. Crispy, you are not one to hold back your opinion. So what do you think about this whole Activision Blizzard situation, the accusations, and then kind of like what they did to come out and kind of like talk against it?
It's kind of sad to see that we're still in this aspect of school. Like, these people are all adults,
School
and
was
it's like,
bad, man. School was bad when it came to shit
dude,
like this.
dude,
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, I was picked on. You call it picked on, but it was pretty bad. Like, like I was one of the few people wearing glasses when people should have been wearing glasses but didn't. Like, my parents are very like, like right online, like, hey, you're blind in your right eye, you got to wear glasses. I even had a patch when I was in school. Like, it was brutal. It sucks. Some people can deal with it, some can't, and that's what you have to realize. If you're that person dishing it out, you know what I mean, because you want to feel better about yourself. Shame on you, by the way. But you want to feel better about yourself, and you want to go and make fun of somebody else, or belittle them. That's the way I see what is transpiring with what you read. I didn't even really read it. I was just like, no surprise. This is a very large company. People say dumb shit, as I like to say. I'm a manager, okay? I look at every individual as, a human being. I don't look at them anywhere else. Like, I don't say you're a male, you're going to be better, or you're a female, be better. Right? I always look at, what are they helping with, and how can I help them be better at their job? And that's the way I look at it. And constructive criticism is way better than anything else in the workplace. And if you give constructive criticism, more than likely people will improve upon that. Now, if you throw a pun, you throw some kind of a-hole comment, or try to act like you're buddy with that person who you barely know and think that they should be okay with what you say, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I almost feel like that's where this transpired, because, after you read what, Blizzard Activision said about it, that is total PR speak, number one. Number two, they don't give a shit. They're going to go to court, and they're going to use all their fucking lawyers. And that's what they're going to do.
Money that could be going to victims is going to be going to lawyers to defend their asses.
And number three, for the largest state in our country to file a lawsuit against them, the state itself, there had to have been enough people that complained about it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, most states, and this goes for even ours, Xbox, they don't give a shit. This costs money to them. That's the way they look at it. So enough people, and I think we're going to see this come out because of the total PR speak that you just stated. Even though it sounded like hey, but when they said it's been 2 years in the making, so why not go out there and, they're not unobligated to go and say, hey, we're having an investigation against us. We are totally against this. If you are truly, in the right, you did nothing wrong. As a company, you might as well get ahead of it instead of it coming out years later. That is illogical. It makes absolutely no sense. Even if you just do a complete and total PR speak once again and say, hey, we are being investigated for harassment against our employees. We have done this, and this, and this may play out in court. It may not, but we are truly trying to make ourselves not only better, but anything else. If you said that a year and a half ago, I think people would have just overlooked it, and then you can go and pull that back out, and I don't think any of this would have happened anyway. The whole point is that, to be treated like dirt is to be treated like dirt. And I feel like California is as big as multiple countries. Like, it's almost as big as Europe.
Well, Predator wants you to know that Texas is actually the largest state in the continental U.S.
Technically, by a small margin.
Yeah, you got him, Pred, on that. I don't care.
Technically, by a small margin.
It's not technically. It's like over 200 square kilometers. So you're welcome.
Man, you went kilometers?
I did, because that's what I saw when I Googled
kilometers.
Well, we're in America. It's miles.
Oh, whatever. You're close enough to Canada.
So it's like 100 miles.
Close enough.
Yeah. So my point is, okay, so if Texas did that, would you think the same thing then? I mean,
it didn't matter if it was Texas or freaking Connecticut. I still would have thought it was still fucked up. And if it got to the point where there's a court case on it, then that just means.
No. And this is technically the state government. Like, this is not like something like where you have somebody just suing somebody. This is the state government. Think about that. This is not just, Epic versus Apple, right? That's not the same thing. This is a state government, okay? Which is financed by the government itself as well. So, for them to go into a lawsuit like this, especially against a pretty large company, I mean, how much is Activision Blizzard worth? It's pretty large. And just keep in mind that they just had this issue, a year ago with, going against the people, protesting in China. You know what I mean? Like, kind of strange that, this would come out, a year later. There's something, maybe it's later, maybe it's before, but it's still relevant in a court system that says, hey, you at that point in time were harassed. And apparently enough people got the attention of a state government.
I mean, yeah. All right, brother. Anything else to add to this before we start winding it down? We didn't get to the immortality mode debate. I think we're gonna swing that over to next week. But anything else on this before we start, winding this sucker down, people?
That's all I got, bro.
All right. I appreciate it. And again, serious subject, serious matter. When it comes down to it, we'll be hearing more as everything kind of unfolds, and we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, I do agree with what Pred and of course other people on the panel agreed with them as well. When it comes to this company, they always say to speak with our wallets, but you don't necessarily see that too much. With stuff like this, everybody is appalled, and everybody thinks it's not right, and all that good stuff. But when it does come down to it, they don't necessarily get a hit financially from stuff like this. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how the gaming community kind of responds to this, and of course we'll see the evolution of this case as it goes forward. But I I want to give a huge shout out to you guys in the chat. You guys are absolutely incredible. I see Mizzle T Shizzle made it here. What is up, Mizzle? Good to see you. But you guys have been absolutely outstanding. The chat has been fire. Just good responses, kind of like getting in on the topics, and I love to see that. I love to see that. As everybody's talking, I'm hearing what they're saying, but I'm also looking at the chat to see what you guys are talking about as well. And you guys knocked it out the park tonight. I really, really do appreciate it. But we are coming to the end of the show, and, you know, I do have to work tomorrow, so this is going to be interesting. But like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get those plugs in. And we're going to start with the man, the myth, the legend, the angriest otter of them all, Dark Optimus. Always good to hear your opinions, bro. We heard kind of like a little emotional side on the last topic as well, man, which is always good to hear. But what do you got for an outro, brother?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox and PlayStation at the same name, yeah, man. And you guys can find me here on the podcast every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, dude. And as always, man, it's a blast to be on this podcast. You guys are my brothers, and I love every single one of you. So,
Sure, I'm loving our OnlyFans there, brother.
that's right.
And Dark adamantly said no more Sunday shows. No more
No
Sunday
more.
shows.
Damn it!
He said he can't
I've
do it.
seen Crispy enough this week. Damn it!
He said he can't do
Oh,
it. Yo,
I
Slade
love you too, buddy.
found the emojis, man. He's rocking that Sonic one. Good to see that. Let's see. We're gonna go with Predator, man. You know, Predator, as always. It is so good to hear your topics, man. I love having you on as a panel member each and every week. What do you got for us for an outro, bro?
Not much, man. See y'all next week. Try and get into some betas. Maybe I might see some footage if I can post it.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about. I'm working on it. So
Don't get in trouble now, though.
No,
If you
no,
can't post it, you
never,
can't
never
post
that.
it.
Never that. I just, you know how some of these things go. Like some of that stuff is they have a disclaimer, some of them don't. So, but I definitely need to get some gaming. And my stepson's been playing my Xbox like it's like a new toy for him or something. And
Wasn't he on PlayStation though?
yeah, he's a PlayStation guy. Yeah, but every time he comes here for the summer, man, he's like in awe with Game Pass right now. Like he's just like just lost. He's playing like, I think I mentioned this somewhere else earlier, but he's just playing like everything. Like stuff that I would not even imagine him playing. Like Octopath. You know, like you're playing Octopath. He's like 2/3 of the way through the game already. You know, but I mean, he just comes in here, he just plays, like he's just going through the Game Pass library and just downloading stuff. And I kind of explained to him what it was. It's crazy how like some people just don't know what Game Pass is, and he didn't. And he's a gamer. He just didn't know what it was. Like explained to him what it was, and start seeing all the games in the library. He's like, you know, now he pays attention to when he sees like these ads now from Microsoft. That's in Game Pass. That's coming to Game Pass too. Halo's in Game Pass. You know, and now he's asking questions. Like he has to ask the question.
He's gonna get an Xbox soon, bro.
I mean, he loves. He's a PlayStation guy through and through. But you know, I think I can convert him over. If I got him an Xbox, I think I can get him into the Xbox side of the yard because he loves the controller too. He's just like he plays my Elite controller too, so he's like he'd rather use that than use the PlayStation 5 controller. But I mean, I think he's at the point, and this is the conversation I had with him. He's at the point where he's like, if all these games are going to be on Xbox as well as PlayStation, I'd rather have an Xbox. So
wow.
So I'm gonna have to get him I may get him a Series S. I'm not gonna. He's not ready for an X yet. That was just,
baby steps, bro.
Yeah, I let him crawl before I let him run. So, but and then so he did my PC setup. So I fired up Doom on PC for him, and he couldn't keep up with that game on PC. It was too fast for him.
Dude, how many
Oh,
frames you
man.
had it running on, man? Like,
Oh, I had it max. I had I got the 3080, so I had it as far as I can get it. It's the unlimited frame. So whatever the highest frame was, I can get on at the time. That's what he was playing on. And he was just like, "Why is it so fast?"
yeah, it's 240 frames per second, sir.
Oh man, he's like just I don't know. And plus I got the widescreen too. That was kind of throwing him off a little bit too. But I mean, he genuinely likes playing on Xbox now. But I don't think he's ever gonna convert over. But I can slowly get him to do it. That is my goal in the next year or so. I'm gonna wait till these games come out. Wait till these exclusives start dropping. It'll be on them.
It'll be like, yo, I'm playing this. Oh yeah. Like, was it $60? Was it 70? Nah, it's Game Pass.
Oh, I'm
bro.
telling you, if Battlefield would have came to Game Pass, yeah, he'd have jumped all over that shit. So
nice.
even all about that life. But anyway, see y'all next week. I don't want to keep this too long, but go Cowboys.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, G-Men.
damn.
G-Men for life,
Come
brother.
zone.
Oh no. That zone is not allowed here, brother. Let's
those?
Well, speaking of that, let's go over to the creator of #CrispyTruth, and as always, man, you never disappoint. You bring your opinions out. They are fast and they are furious, bro. You are on other shows. I say this every week, but you gotta let people know where else they can see you, man, and where they can go to talk games with you, bro.
Oh, always fun. I mean, my brothers always talking trash and make me look bad like Pred. Pred's like, no, this is not. But yeah, I'm sorry.
He's
I
gonna
should
keep
say
doing that until you
California.
subscribe.
California has the highest population. That's what I should have said. Which is not New York, but
And
California
it has the
has
most
highest
pieces of shit
population.
too.
Oh wow!
Well, hey,
You do
you're
know-
from
you know all
there,
the
so
Californians
I
live
don't
in-
know what to tell
I'm
you.
not from California, motherfucker. I'm from fucking Michigan. Fuck off.
You know all those Californians.
Well,
live in
I
Texas,
live
right?
here and I'm from here, and I don't say that about my state. Regardless
Yeah,
of
but I'm
the
not
two.
from here, so I can say whatever I want about the state if I want to, because I'm not from
So
here.
why live there then?
Because
Attention,
I'm in
everybody.
the film industry.
White
fuck.
on white crime has been detected. White on white crime has been detected.
At Christian Baum on Twitter, Christian Baum 28 Xbox Live. Generally, you can find me tomorrow, but me and Boom can't align at this point. I'm on vacation. He's on vacation. So we got Retro Renegades Tuesday night, 7 p.m. And of course, you can find me back here on the next podcast, 8 p.m. Thursdays, prime time.
Prime time, baby. Prime time, man. It is always good to have you on. And we are going last, but certainly not least, because he was the very first panel member besides your host. It is K-Mega. K-Mega, I'm glad that, things are starting to clear up, personal life. I know, like you said, it's not out of the woods yet, but you're closer to the border. You know what I'm saying? You're getting through to the grassland. You're getting away from the woods, and I definitely appreciate that. Again, shout out to Mama Mega out there, because we know she listens to this show. But K-Mega, what do you got for an outro for us, brother? Really? You don't say. He said, well, first of all, I just want to give a lot of love and respect to Xbox
Also
448.
Oh, I did. I was over
Also
here finishing I was over here finishing the DLC of Greedfall, so I could just go ahead and I can just uninstall the game since I already beat the story. So, so it shouldn't take me too long. This DLC,
Yeah,
but anyway,
we don't care.
you should. It's a really good game. Really good story game, man. I'm telling you, it is. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. I'd give it a 80 because I mean it's there's some points that looks really good graphically, and then there's other points that it looks old, like an older game. But the voice acting in this game is top notch, one of the best for sure, 100%. That's a 98. With
I
the
just couldn't
voice
get into
acting.
the controls of that game, man. Those
Once
controls
you got it,
fucking suck.
once you get into controls, man, it's like The Witcher. Once you get into the controls, It's
You cannot compare that game to The Witcher, dude.
I can.
No, you cannot. No, you
Absolutely.
cannot.
Absolutely.
No.
If you played,
The
if you put
Witcher
the
is
game
hands
into
down
no,
10 times
these
better than the fucking Greedfall.
the
No.
combat is so similar in the
No,
sense
it's
of the way that you dodge, the way that
not at all.
you can bind your
No.
skills. Oh my
No.
god, man! You said trap. Everything. It's very similar to Witcher 3 combat. Okay,
No.
all right. Well, did you beat it?
No, but no,
Okay.
I don't have to.
Okay.
I've already played it.
How many hours did you put in it? If that many?
I would say 3.
Oh
Three
shit!
hours.
You didn't know nothing. Of course, the controls were bad in the first 3. Come on.
Why am I gonna go past 3 hours if I already
If you're
don't
gonna,
like the
if you're
game?
gonna hold on, wait a minute.
Stranding or
If you're gonna
something?
play, yeah, if you're gonna play Death Stranding, if you're gonna play Persona 5, and it takes 10 hours to get into that, come on, man.
I
Stop.
played Death Stranding for I didn't play Death Stranding for more
It
than
takes
that.
damn near 3 hours to get into some real good shit in
I played Persona
The Last of
5.
Us 2.
I didn't even beat Persona 5, so like,
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you was a Sony dude. Anyway, hush your mouth. Let me get out of here. Anyway, but try Greedfall. If people like traditional RPGs, you know what I'm saying, try it out. If you can get used to the Witcher 2 and the Witcher 3's combat, I tell you, you can definitely get into that. And it's also got a mode where it's like old school, where you could just hit the left trigger and then pick the precise attack that you want to, and then like the other attacks, like if you want to swing your sword and stuff like that, that's just one button. Like anyway, all right, whatever. All right, so tomorrow GRG will be back. We'll finally do the 200th episode. Looking forward to it. Yeah, Fonzarelli will be on. The Prodigal Son. Then we have Lady Infamous and Delilah that will be showing up as well. So yeah, we're bringing some of the old cast with some of the new generation of GRG. It's going to be fun, and then hopefully next week we can go ahead, because I talked to Triple Cups. I hit up everybody. I hit up everybody, and I've gotten hit back by mostly everybody except for one person. But yeah, even All Day was considered to come on, so that would be crazy. So we'll see about that. Triple Cup Chuck, goddamn, and our boy Livewire. You know what I'm saying? They talk about they down. So if they'll that won't be this week, but that will be next week. I want to try to get everybody to have their time in this, and discuss. But yeah, but tomorrow night it's gonna be Fonzarelli, Lady Infamous, and Delilah HD. And so come and check us out tomorrow night. It's gonna be fun. Looking forward to it. The 200th episode, baby. I'm ready. And then the Return of Fight Night coming up Sunday. I missed it. I actually was missing the hell out of it. I was playing a couple of fighters on xCloud at the hospital, and I was like, damn, man, I wish I could be fighting, but it is what it is, man. But thank you guys for all the support and all of that, man. I hope you guys will come check us out and all of that, man. We'll be ready to see you tomorrow night.
Nice.
And then I'll be here Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So all right. Mark it down. K Mega will be here next Thursday. But guys, again, shout out to the chat, the newest member of the channel, Chilean. I needed an excuse to say that name again, bro. Thank you so much, Missile T Shizzle, RG Viper. Who's this Dark Optimus guy in the chat? I don't even know, but
he's a buster. He can't even beat Persona 5. Oh my god.
He lives in California so he's a piece of shit. So
he's a piece of shit. But, yo, guys, thank you so much for the support. We will be here next Thursday, of course, same time, prime time, 8 p.m. Thank you so much, guys. We will see you next week for the next podcast. Have a great night, everybody.
Welcome to.
Oh yeah.
The voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. And you're tuned in to next podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.